All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Frank Irelan Field for tonight's Monday night contest.
Monday night.
It's a little Monday night football, ladies and gentlemen. And no, I'm not talking about I think it's the Saints and the who is it tonight for Monday Night Football? The Saints and somebody. So
sure.
we're not talking about them. We're talking about the Clinton-Massie Falcons versus the Batavia Bulldogs. So interesting situation that brings us here tonight. Matt Baker along with
EJ Lamb.
EJ Lamb bringing the color and the flavor to the broadcast this evening. We have a unique situation with Batavia coming off of COVID quarantine. So they did spend the last 2 weeks under COVID quarantine, and we were able to get a game in, but it had to be pushed back a few days to give them the opportunity to kind of get back into playing shape. We want to make sure all these young men and young ladies, they actually have a couple young lady kickers on their team, are ready to go and ready to, to work in tonight's contest. So, again, not the Raiders and the Saints, but the Falcons and the Bulldogs.
It's an appetizer.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us a little, EJ, what you're looking for tonight. It is a Monday. It's a beautiful Monday evening, so it's a great night for football. It's going to cool off here for us in just a second. What are you looking from out of the Batavia Bulldogs coming off of that 2-week layoff?
Well, it is a fun night to have some football, beautiful night. They're kind of unproven at this point. They did have an early win against Williamsburg in week number 1 and had a really good win to catapult them. And now here we are a couple weeks later. They've had a layoff, and it's going to be a really, really tough test against Clinton-Massie. Clinton-Massie has grinded it out the past 3 weeks. Had some disappointment in their defense last game, but Batavia's got something to prove tonight. Got a young quarterback that is athletic, can move around, and so it's going to be a fun night with Batavia, and it'll be a test and just kind of see how they're doing. Week 2 for them is going to be Massey. They've had a couple cancellations, so here they are with their hands full tonight here at Frank Irelan Field.
Yeah, let's start with the quarterback, Max Applegate. So he is a junior. He's listed at 5'10", 152. Coach, I got to talk to the coach earlier today. He did mention specifically that Max has jumped in, bought in full tilt since the day he was hired, which this coach, Nick Schmidt, was hired in January of this year as the head coach for the Batavia Bulldogs, coming off of a 4-year stint at Anderson High School as their defensive coordinator, Walnut Hills before that as their OC, and then McNick even prior to that. And what he brings to the table as a coach is playoff experience, kind of a pedigree, multiple years in these higher level, bigger programs, coming down to a little bit of a smaller school and representing there. And what he said is the response from Max Applegate as his quarterback has been exactly what you expect. Bought in from day one, put some pounds on. The kid's put on 15 to 20 pounds since January, so he feels good about that. But he also recognizes that he's not exactly sure what he has still in his team because it's, like you said, week 2 for him. So he's going to be a little bit reserved on what Max can do because, as he stated, he's not sure where the depth chart goes after him.
Yeah, and so you got a guy, not real big like you said, but put a few pounds on at 5'10", probably now 160, is at 150 to start the season. And it's kind of a baptism by fire tonight because week 1, I looked a little bit today and did a little research, couldn't find a lot because they've only had one game. And so they're jumping right into this, and this will be a test. However, with Massey, how they struggled a little bit with the spread offense, if they can run that spread offense, they can give it a shot. I know Massey coaches cannot be happy with the points they gave up last week at Western Brown, last Friday night. And so Max could have a little bit of success tonight. But again, young junior quarterback, only time's going to tell what he can do on the field tonight.
Yeah, talking about that first win you had mentioned was against the rival of Williamsburg, 122-9. And the coach said they were very happy about winning against their rival. I think 4 miles separates them between Williamsburg and Batavia, and they were excited about getting that. But he said that's not where it ends. That's just 1 week, and a rivalry win, although it's good. A true test is going to come tonight against a state champion level powerhouse in Clinton-Massie.
Yeah, and it's one of those. It's a good bad thing. It's good that you get to go against that competition, but a lot of times with Massey, their experience, their pedigree, you're going against a team that's been there and done that many times over. And so Massey, I know their defense has to be motivated tonight to put up a better stand than they did. Was it 10 days ago at Western Brown? So I know they've got to be motivated. So Batavia might take the brunt of that tonight.
Yeah.
With those who've been working on this, I'm sure. We've got a little Monday Night Football action.
Absolutely, little theme music to bring the teams in here. Talking about again that coach coming off that 14-day quarantine. He said, you kind of reevaluate, you reflect on things when you're out of play for 14 days. He said the number one thing he tried to share with his kids are, we're lucky to have this opportunity in life. It's not just about football. It's about just having the opportunity to be together as a team now, to be able to play, to be on the field and working together. So he's excited to make sure he's passing on that message to his team.
Yeah, and one thing this year makes everybody appreciate, like tonight is football. The fact that we get to play it this year, even though it's been tougher circumstances, nobody's taking for granted getting to play football. Even if it's a Monday night, we're excited to do it.
We're excited to bring you this competition, which will start here in just about 3 minutes. Clinton-Massie will receive the ball to start the game off. And just bringing back a couple points of who to look for here on your TV screen. Number 3, again, Max Applegate is your quarterback, leader of the offense. He's going to have a few people to throw to because they run a spread, a 2x2 or 3x1 look. So the first number 1 receiver he's going to have is Kellen Epps. And we apologize for not having too many stats, as EJ shared with you. They've only had 1 game at this point. So he's listed as 6'3", 200. His number 1 target, look for number 11.
Yeah, and it sounds like 6'3". This might be a copy of Western Brown, who had some taller receivers. We've got good athletic corners, but they're not as tall. We're talking 5'11" range here against 6'3", so that might be a target he no doubt is going to go to over and over tonight.
Yeah, and then second to him is going to be Mick Heckert. Mick Heckert is a returner from injury this year, actually spent a couple years away from football. Coaches were excited to get him back. He's their number 2 target. He's more of that, we'll say, Wes Welker or Julian Edelman. He's 5'10", listed at 165, a senior as well. So, yeah, we'll see him at least with a few catches, I'm sure, if not more tonight. Next after him, you're going to see another receiver. Looks like Drew Mentzel, and that's a senior wide receiver. Again, an inside guy listed at 5'10", 150 is another target for this young junior quarterback. Just getting into the quarterback mode at this point. It's the second game, and he doesn't have a lot of experience. He's an athlete. He's a multi-sport athlete. He's a good basketball player. If I remember correctly, he started the last couple of years, both as a freshman and a sophomore, for the Batavia Bulldogs basketball team.
Yeah, definitely has the athleticism to move around in the pocket, which you'll need. Massey has a good defense. I mean, they were exposed a bit on their passing defense. So he's going to have to move around and make some plays happen with his feet, throw on the run. If he can do that, there's a chance, hey, they can score some points. And, hey, now, as we alluded to earlier before we came on, there was a huge 175-0 deficit the last 3 games between Massey and Batavia. So they want to put some points on the board.
Yeah, Coach brought that up. I thought it was interesting to have that point in our conversation, which was pretty abbreviated, but still to bring up the point that it's been 175-0 in the last 3 years. That means it's definitely a crawl that is stuck in his crawl there. So he made that point, I'm sure, multiple times. Put that on a few bulletin boards. Maybe even saw that on a helmet sticker or two if you had during the 2-a-day period. So the kickoff is a onside kick that goes to Clinton-Massie. So great idea to come off the bat and say, hey, we're going to challenge you right off the bat with something unexpected. We're covering that for Clinton-Massie is number 4.
And that was good because he had an inside kind of route on it, and 4 comes up there and grabs it, takes it. But I want to tell you something. That was no squib kick. That was an actual.
Yeah, he was trying to onside that one. So we'll get you. It's I believe that would be Gabe McDowell. I believe.
Big play, Gabe.
For number 4. Yeah, so Gabe with the recovery, a good way for him to start out this game. So coming into a shotgun, it's going to be trips right, a different look for Clinton-Massie here, tight end left. Cody Zantini calling the play, looks for a quick pass, and that's to Carter Uden with the bubble screen. He goes back outside with a nice block by Carter Van Hoos. And that's going to get him a solid 8 on the play. So right off the bat, throwing the ball. Do not adjust your TV screens, ladies and gentlemen.
Am I at the right field tonight,
yes, this is Frank Irelan Field. This is the Clinton-Massie Falcons, and we just ran a play to start the game, and it was a pass.
3 receivers set on the right there, and you don't normally see that.
Yeah.
And the shotgun, but I like it. Let's get this rotation.
So we got Donald Brewer out to the wide left. You got Carter Frank in the middle, and that is Gabe McDowell. Van Hoos is going to get the ball fake to him, and Cody Zantini is going to keep it. He's not going to get much there. Batavia's going to stop him pretty much.
Stops his momentum there.
Yeah, for about a yard gain maybe, and almost a first down, so it's going to be 3rd and probably about 6 inches, maybe 8 inches.
I think maybe it's time as we come just a few weeks away from the playoff run to maybe get a little diversity in our portfolio here. Do a little spread offense there and some shotgun formation and some running game. Looks like we got a man down on the field right now.
We do. We have Batavia Bulldogs has an injured player. If I read it correctly on the way over there, I think that was number 14. We'll double check that. We don't want to make sure parents and grandparents are concerned, but that looks like it might be Luke Thompson or, yep, I think they're going to get him off the field pretty quickly, though. So Luke Thompson's going to get off on his own power pretty easily off the ground and back onto the sideline. So I'm sure that young man's okay. We'll make sure and check on him later on in the game. So the defense is set for Batavia. Talking to the coach, their defensive quarterback, the guy that's going to make all those calls for them, one of those guys is Max Stewart. He called him the quarterback of the defense, number 40. You're going to see him as a junior linebacker. Ball goes to Van Hoos. He breaks open. One tackle is missed, and they get him on the second round, which is deep into the secondary. So it's going to be a first down for Clinton-Massie. Nice the hole was led by Colton Trampler.
Yeah, Colton's a big boy. Laid a nice block on him. First down here, like you're alluding to on Batavia, number 40, Big Mac, 6'2", 220. He looks pretty big, and I know on your screens you're looking at, he's a big boy, leader of this defense, but they're going to have to do something. Massey is marching.
Looks like they're coming in a 3-3 stack. Ball's fake to Van Hoos. Cody Zantini rolls out. He calls a block
nice
for
block.
Colton, which it makes a great block, and that's going to be a first down run for about 12 yards. Pointing out NFL style his block for Colton to get.
And that's Massey unselfish ball. Colton, you won't see that on a stat sheet. You won't see that show up, but that is a big difference because he laid that block there on the defender, and that's an easy first down with Colton blocking. He's a beast. He's going to lay that block for you.
Charlie Hale coming into the game, bringing in the offensive play, and he'll set up on the left side at the tight end position. It's going to be a double tights look with a wishbone backfield.
Looks like Massey.
Yes, Carter Frank in the backfield is going to get the carry. He stays low. He eludes one tackle. He's going to go outside, break a tackle, and he's going to end up out of bounds right at about the 5-yard line. So a methodical drive that has already started with a pass, a couple fakes, a rollout, a couple handoffs, the wishbone. This is, like you said, diversity. I mean, if you're the defensive coach of the next team that you're playing, you're figuring, okay, what are they coming out with, and I need to practice against all of it.
Yeah, but it still looks like a Massey drive, just a methodical. 10, 12, yards a shot, and so it looks like Massey. They'll probably punch it in here. I don't think they'll pass this far down in the red zone, but it looks like Massey going to come back in the
double tights, wishbone backfield. Cody Zantini gets the snap, turns around, fakes to Carter Frank. He holds it. He is going to pass it to Dawson Conley with the touchdown, ladies and gentlemen.
Touchdown pass.
Absolutely. So
what did I just say?
He heard you. He was upset at you. Yeah. I think he might even called his own number when he heard you say, we're going to run the ball.
I heard that guy.
So
a nice play. Hey, one thing about Cody, he's a phenomenal passer. He can put it on the numbers.
And it was a great fake, too. He held the ball in his right
What are you expecting down there on Massey, on the 3-yard line? Nice fake. Everybody bit, and he found his man wide open.
Yeah, Dawson Conley with a nice route. And the coaches have mentioned to me specifically that Dawson Conley is one of the best route-running tight ends that they've seen in their entire coaching career, and that's a compliment right there.
I like this. I like this being just literally 2 or 3 weeks away. Extra point is good. 2 or 3 weeks away from playoffs. I love putting this in our playbook.
Absolutely.
Where we are having some diversity. You can't just load the box. I love it. Good drive there by the Falcons.
9:32 left in the first quarter. 7-0 is your score. And if you're Batavia right now, I do know that the coach had mentioned to me that, there's some things that they're going to work on, and they're going to look at making themselves a program over the next few years that is a standard in the SBAC. And sometimes that means the opponent that you're facing this week isn't your biggest concern. It's creating an identity in your program.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to be too flashy. I don't think he wants to see, 10 different types of defenses and things like that. He said, we're just going to do what we do, and we're going to make our best effort and come out and compete every play.
That's what you got to do. Every play. And he said he's going to take no plays off, which we saw, last week at Western Brown. They had to put a great effort out there, but took some plays off on special teams. They're ready tonight, Batavia.
So Batavia rushes out onto the field with a return that a tall, high spinning kick is going to go to number 13. He's just going to land on the ball to make sure that Batavia retains possession.
Nice backspin by the kicker.
Number 13 is Luke Skaggs. So that's that senior running back, defensive back that we had talked about earlier. just that kind of do-everything kind of guy. So he's able to return that for about, or not even return, but down the ball at about the 20-yard line to make sure they keep possession. So you'll see a 4-wide look, a lot of times 3-by-1, 2-by-2. Quarterback again, number 3 is Applegate. He'll take a shotgun snap, pistol formation. Ball gets handed off to Skaggs, and Skaggs is going to get, I'd say, about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards.
Yeah.
So coming out in that widespread look, they're going to be a hurry-up offense, getting all plays.
They're not taking a lot of time here.
All plays from the sideline. They're setting up in a 3-by-1 at the Massey. Looks like, at the Batavia 22. A shift by the defense brings Applegate back. The pass on a bubble screen. He's able to collect that. And he gets met immediately by about 6 Falcons for maybe a yard, not even half-yard gain.
Massey's D looks faster to the ball tonight than they did against Western Brown. That looks good. They almost got the quarterback. Good play to get that off for Applegate to get that out of his hand before he gets sacked.
To Kyler Myers, and also a junior wide receiver. Stepping over the line of scrimmage was going to be Charlie Hale, I believe. Yeah. So a little anxious, like you said, wanting to tee off, wanting to make sure and take care of these guys and put a nail in the coffin early. Charlie gets a little excited and gets across the line, but he'll come right back. And if I know him and his motivation enough, he's going to want to make this next play to make up for that. So 4-2 look is what the defense shows for Clinton-Massie. The fake goes from Applegate. It's tapped down by Colton Trampler.
I thought he was going to reach up and grab it and run it in.
That would have been nice.
Nice play.
We've already had Brody Muterspaw score on a scoop and score from the defensive side. It'd be nice to see Colton score from the defensive side. So quickly, Batavia's right back on the line of scrimmage. Fourth down and 2. It's probably going to be a quick kid, or maybe they're trying to get him to.
We got a flag.
Oh, they got him. They got him to jump a little bit. So offsides is going to be the call on the defense, and that's going to bring them a first down due to penalty.
So you go for an onside.
Yeah.
You go for it on 4th.
Yep.
And that paid off. But you can tell they're coming in here with a nothing to lose attitude, nothing to lose but the game.
Yeah, they're gonna be a gambler. You can tell. Why not take their chances? 3-by-2 set with an empty backfield this time. Applegate lets it fly. He's got a receiver that's open by about a step.
Just overthrew him barely there.
Is that number? Looks like that's number 11 that's the Kellen Epps, and he is a tall young man. And I don't think he's listed incorrectly. He looks 6'3", 200. I mean, he looks like a nice-sized young man there.
Here they come. They're not taking any breaks here.
And that was against, I believe, Braden Rolfe went into coverage from that outside linebacker position with him. So definitely had the height advantage, but Braden was right there in his pocket. Applegate again releases the ball. This time Uten goes for the pick. He's pushed slightly by Kyler Myers for Batavia. That's
good defense there.
Pass.
Step for step, ball came, went to kind of make a play. It was kind of a jump ball there. Good job by Uten there on the defense. And getting position against a bigger receiver.
Yeah, definitely had the inside position there in his hip pocket back into the game for Clinton-Massie. It looks like Brody Muterspool is on your defensive line, as well as Leighton Bell, the sophomore starter. It's been a great addition to the Clinton-Massie Falcons this year. The referee's going to call the play. The referee's going to stop play for just a moment, and Carter Uten's going to be told to step out of the game for a moment. It looks like he's having he's got a bandana on, so it's coming out from underneath his helmet, so they're going to switch him out. Green's going to come in and take a position there at the cornerback, the far corner position. So Applegate with the pass 5 wide. He's going to let it fly again
he did let it
to
fly.
number 9, and this time he's got it, but he did drop it. So number 9, Kyler Myers, had the ball in his hand, and it just dropped out at the last second. A little bit of tension put on him by Carson Van Hoos, so a good play on defense, but he did have him by a step.
But if you're going to compete with Massey, you got to make those catches. Got to have those. Here they go again.
5 wide again, 3 to the left, 2 to the right for Max Applegate.
I wonder if he's going to go in the shotgun and give him a little punt here. We'll see. Nope.
He wants a bubble screen. Pass is made.
Oh, my goodness.
He makes one person miss. He's tackled and brought down, so that's going to be a turnover on downs. And the Massey's going to get the ball about the 35-yard line, right on the 35-yard line. So it gives Massey a short field to work with. And I think from moment one, second one, this coach is a gambler.
Now, the last game we watched, I watched my first game without a punt. There was one punt at the very beginning against Western Brown.
Yep.
Maybe the way this football style is going, we may see no punts tonight. Just go for it on 4th. But here's Massey with good field position.
So shotgun, trips left. A late defensive starter comes in for Batavia. Cody Zantini's flushed out of the pocket. He makes one person miss, but he's brought down after just getting about a yard or so on a scramble. So it looked a little discombobulated there. It looked like maybe a bubble screen to the left that Cody read was not there and decided to pull it and start running, but Batavia did collapse the pocket on him pretty quick.
Yeah, and Zantini was able to move around a little bit but not get much going. This is the first time that you've seen in the first half the plays at least be passes. So they're going to work on the rhythm here and see if they can get a rhythm in this passing game, looks like.
Slot left with Donna Brewer out wide. I backfield, Dalen Maples going to get the handoff in the fullback position. He runs over one defender and is able to gain another 3 yards after contact, so it's going to bring it up to about 3rd and 5 with 7:08 left on your clock. 7-0 is your score. Clinton-Massie up on the Batavia Bulldogs. What do you see out of Batavia coming out of this quarantine? You know, they're about half of a quarter into play. I think right now they're just still kind of getting their feet underneath them.
Yeah, and I think the coach could do a better job of putting them in position instead of going for it on 4th down. Now here you give
Tough
Massey
short
this,
field. Yeah, so Carter Frank takes the pitch
Oh,
wide, and he's just going to outrun Batavia
There he is,
Bulldogs to
folks.
the left.
Frank to the bank with a deposit for 6.
We got it. Keep that counter at 1,
There it is.
ladies and gentlemen. So there's a score. Again, like you said, maybe the coach decides to gamble a little bit, but he put his team in a spot where
He did. Bad spot
35
there.
yards. Yeah, that 35 yards isn't too much to expect from this offense, especially in the position they've been in the first drive. So Carter Frank, after score, comes out for the extra point attempt. Trevor McGinnis is going to be there with Cody Zantini holding. The Clinton-Massie Falcons set up, and you're going to have 13-0, your current score with 6:42 left with a point after attempt. McGinnis is up.
And it's good.
And it's good. So 14-0, and I just have a feeling. Batavia's got to do something here pretty quick, or this might avalanche before they know it. So, good luck to the Bulldogs this evening. Obviously, the Falcons are a tall task to have, especially coming out of this 14-day quarantine. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that. The coach said that technology was definitely a help in this time of a quarantine. They were able to meet on Google Meet and have position meetings each day after school for some of these kids, which would have been, virtual school for most of them. And then they actually had a team meeting every night as well. So that technology kind of built a bond and helped keep them close while they weren't able to be in direct contact with each other. So he did credit their time together virtually to help them stay bonded as a team.
Did he say when the last time they were able to practice was together?
Yeah, so they got 3 practices in this past weekend.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon. So Skaggs gets the ball. He returns it to the 21-yard line where he's tackled by a flock of Falcons.
He was looking for a hole that never opened up, trying to be patient there.
So, I asked him
swarm.
specifically. He got 3 practices in Friday evening after school. He got Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon. And he said he felt like, if anything, it just gave him a little bit of conditioning. It got him understanding to get their bodies warmed back up. But I tell you, it's
tough to do, though.
Oh, man, you've been off for 14 days.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's going to be
tough.
tough.
And they look, just by the eye test, a little slower and methodical than Massey does right now.
Yeah, Batavia brings in number 7 to take the place of Skaggs, and that's going to be Daniel Hellman, who's listed as a starter in the cornerback position, but he gets the handoff and just nothing doing up there. Well, actually, he does.
He fought for a couple there at the end.
He did. A good body lean forward puts him for actually a 3 or 4 yard gain there on the first down.
They need that big play now. They need that conversion.
Yeah.
They need that receiver to bring that ball in and get some momentum because, like you said, it's 14-0 halfway through the first, and they need something they can build on.
If I'm going to guess, we haven't seen the last long pass attempt.
No.
Oh, and number 5, Caden Clutter, Colton Trampler meets at the running back, which was about a yard behind the line of scrimmage. That's Skaggs again, number 13. So he's met immediately and driven back about a yard. So it's going to be 3rd down and about 7 for Clinton-Massie's defense, set up again in the 4-2 look, even with a 3-by-1 offensive set. The bubble screen goes to Kyler Myers. Myers gets
got a block on those bubble screens, guys.
He successfully caught the ball. The problem is there was 3 people waiting for him.
Yeah, the success of the bubble screen is people blocking downfield and opening that up. And right now, here we are with 4th and 7. I don't know if he'll punt.
Doesn't look like it, so he's in a 2-by-2 set with the running back behind him. Oh, tries to get him jump off.
And he got him.
Yeah,
that helps him, gives him 5 yards.
Gives him 5 yards. It won't be a first down, but it'll definitely make it closer. So this may make sense. So I talked to this coach earlier today, and when I asked him, who's your punter, he laughed. So I think this is part of the game plan.
For the course.
I think he's saying, hey, we're not going to punt. I'm just going to go with the statistics. I'm going to use the
that's that new age modern
I'm
football.
telling you, yeah, there's a couple D3 coaches in schools that believe in not punting, and I've heard and seen some stories about that. So maybe he's just got a mentality that he's going to go for it. And
we're
the
going to see how that works for you here.
So it looks like they're trying to get Clinton-Massie to jump off sides. This time he makes the call, and they're going to actually snap the ball. Oh, and he's going to pass it. So deep pass goes to, looks like there is a catch made.
That?
Yep. Yeah, he did. And so 2 receivers were in the same vicinity. Number 9 is Kyler Myers again. So Kyler Myers actually has, I'd say, 3 or 4 catches already in the game.
Now he says who gets the last laugh.
Yeah, his yardage may not be real high, but he's definitely bringing the ball in. So it's going to be a first down. Again, looked like a little confusion but for Batavia, which brought 2 or 3 Massey defenders together as well. There was a flag on the play.
Yeah, I guess they picked it up.
But it looks like they're waving off that
okay.
flag, it looks like. Yep, so I think
now
they're
on the Massey side of the field here.
They're going to let the play stand at the 47-yard line of Clinton-Massie. Yeah, they didn't want that penalty because of the successful catch. So Applegate eludes one Clinton-Massie tackler. He's able to lean forward just past the line of scrimmage, about a half yard or so. No open receivers down the field that particular time, so he decided to hold the ball and scramble.
Man, they move quickly.
Yeah, they want to get it. I think they want to get up to the line of scrimmage with less than, 5 seconds ran off the clock. So this time Skagg gets it again. He's able to bowl through for about 2 or 3 yards. Caden Clutter is able to stop him at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, and they're definitely in 4-down territory. Apparently,
they're 4-down territory is at the 20 of the other side of the field for him. So, hey, if he's going to gamble, at least he's consistent.
And I guess your play callers know from that point you can just call it like you're going to have 4.
This is a 3-by-1 set with a
there you go,
Carter Uten with a great position.
Nice play.
Yeah, great position on that.
Not to get the flag, but just, position his body, make the deflection. Great play there.
So Myers definitely had the height advantage on him, but Uten was in better position.
These DBs got something to prove. They're not happy with their performance last week. They're not happy with that. They want to come out and show what they can do.
So 3-by-1 set again, one running back in the backfield. Applegate looks to the sideline for his play call. The ball is snapped. He's going to run the option. And to the right, that gets Skaggs a pitch.
Nice open field tackle.
Very nice tackle by Cody Zantini.
And that's one of those, when you're coming around the corner, you got Cody, and if he gets past Cody, there's a chance he's getting that first down. So you make that play, and that was a great open field tackle by the quarterback.
Cody Zantini said, you know what, I'm tired of playing defense. Let's go play some offense. I'll go ahead and make this tackle.
It's like backyard football. If I make this tackle, I get to go throw the ball.
I get to be all-time QB, right? So
nice tackle.
Clinton-Massie's going to get the ball with 3:47 left. 14-0 is your score. So I think they're going to try to, if they can, put another one on before the quarter exchange here. Clinton-Massie comes up in the flanker left slot, double slot. The pitch goes to Van Hoos. Van Hoos got 2 blockers ahead of him, which is Boffman and Carter Frank. Both put a block on a couple guys, and that's going to get him looks like a first down run on first down.
He just kind of outran his blockers and just kind of waited, and they were throwing some great blocks downfield. And
got in their hip pocket and ran.
And that's how you do it, folks. You get out there, set some blocks, get about 20 yards.
That brings me back to a comment that was made by their coach. I asked him, you've only had the one game, but what's something that you saw that you liked in that game, some things that you didn't like? And he said he actually felt like his running backs were overrunning their blocking. He made that point that you just said, is that sometimes you have to actually slow down.
Be patient.
Be patient to have the right scheme and right blocking.
Van Hoos is just making some great open field plays and jukes. Another 15, 20-yard run there. They're getting hot. They're rolling now.
It helps when you have the size of holes that he's running through. I mean, he had 3 defenders being pushed back by 3 offensive linemen, and he could have picked 3 different directions that he wanted to run. He decides to go back to the middle of the field, which is going to be stopped at about the 29-yard line. Clinton-Massie comes out in an I formation. tight end left, slot right. That's Donald Brewer and Carter Frank. The fake goes to Van Hoos. The ball's up to Carter Frank. Dropped it right in his lap, ladies and gentlemen. Nice toss, nice play. Carter Frank adding to his receiving yards, his team-leading receiving yards.
And he took a hit by Big Mac Stewart. They're still jawing a little bit, but there was a flag. Touchdown's good.
Okay, so this is something that, I think you got caught chatting a little bit. So the touchdown is good.
He laid the stick on Cody Zantini, though. He laid the stick while he was releasing that ball, and so probably got kind of frustrated the quarterback there.
Got him jawed up just a little bit. So now here's the thing. Over the last couple of weeks, we have complimented both of us on the intelligence of Cody Zantini as a football player, but I'm sure he wouldn't want us to take it easy on him. Those are the penalties that are not acceptable.
Yeah, he probably wanted to get a word in or something, but there's a little jawing going back and forth. But great pass. And that's one thing. Cody doesn't need 10 passes to get in rhythm. This kid can pass it and put it right on the numbers.
Yeah, he can hand off for 10 plays in a row and then drop what is about
huge.
a 35-yard pass right in the back of the end zone in his bread basket.
That's beautiful.
So that point is going to be good. And with 2:50, which means it took all of about 45 seconds to score again, we have a 21-0 lead for the Clinton-Massie Falcons. And again, I've got that feeling, and no, I'm not the Black Eyed Peas, but I've got that feeling that it's going to get ugly kind of quick.
Well, and we all like playing Madden. My boys do. But when you're a high school football coach and you want to go for it on 4th and 7, 4th and 8, and it's putting your fellas in some bad field position. And so I may rethink that if I'm Batavia.
So it's funny that you'd say Madden. So I asked the coach at the end of our conversation, I said, Coach, what's something funny that the gentleman that broadcasts with me and I can talk about when we have a timeout or maybe the game's gotten a little out of hand? And he said, well, one of the many things that he shared with me that's kind of funny and little inside jokes they have is there's a lot of Madden smack talking going on those Google Meets for those 2 weeks. So these guys would get on and they would kind of keep an eye on each other while they're playing Madden on this video conferencing system. And he said it was funny to watch. It was funny to watch. They had a good time with it. The coaches were joining in and there was just a lot of smack talking, but they actually mentioned playing Madden, and that was what they were doing in some of those team meetings. So with the penalty, we're going to kick off. Clinton-Massie will from the 25-yard line. Trevor McGinnis gets his kickoff team swaying side to side, drops his hand, drops his head, and now brings that leg through. And he's going to actually keep this one on the ground, and the ball's going to go to number 43 for Batavia. 43 for Batavia is going to be Blake Martin, so a running back DB listed as a sophomore, 5'10" and 150 pounds.
And it gives them some good field position. And with the penalty, if they can capitalize on this, they've only got a 45-yard field to go. They're going for it, looks like. And so maybe they can take advantage of this. These kids can put some points on the board here.
3-by-1 set for the Batavia Bulldogs with 2:47 left, down 21 points to Clinton-Massie at Frank Irelan Field on a beautiful Monday night.
Wonderful.
The lights have just kicked on. You can see the sunset off in the distance. The great thing about being out here in the country is sunsets are beautiful out here. That's clean air.
Yes,
trips left, receiver to the right. Running back is given the ball. That's Skaggs. He's immediately met by Dalen Maple and Brody Muterspaw to drive him back 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. But they'll give him forward progress to about the line of scrimmage.
I want to give credit to our defensive line. They're playing wonderful. Our DBs are playing great. It's they're playing great tonight. Great job, defensive line.
As much as 175-0 has been shared by the other coach, Clinton-Massie knows that same stat, and they want to hold them. Yeah, they want to hold them to a shutout for the last 3 years and make it 4. Applegate spins that ball, and the ball is almost caught by number 8,
James Heckert.
So that's they list him as Mick Heckert or James Heckert. So Heckert family, we want to be respectful. Either one of those hopefully is good for you, but
got to have those guys.
Yeah, that was dropped in his hands, and honestly, he catches that. That's probably a score. So
shows you that Applegate can throw a decent ball. He can put it there.
Kind of chucking it, but it spun well on that one. Left to right, your trips left, single receiver right, pistol formation, one running back in the backfield. He wings out in the wheel route.
Got it.
Caught it. goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line. No, I'm sorry, 33-yard line. So they're going to move the chains for a first down, not caused by penalty this time, but just getting the 10 yards.
Nice conversion there. Nice play by the receiver, taking it down. And here they're rolling.
Immediately up to speed. They're back snapping the ball. Skaggs gets it up. It's going to be a false start call on. It looks like this farthest receiver closest to us.
There's been a little movement even throughout the game, and they're lucky this is the first time that's happened because everybody's kind of getting set and moving, and you knew that was bound to happen at one point, but still first down, about 15 to go.
So that 5-yard penalty is going to put them back at the 38-yard line, first down and 15 now. Ball snapped to Applegate. He sets up with a 3-step drop. Nice spinning ball. He gets it. This time it's caught by the same gentleman that dropped the last one before, and that's number 8.
Mr. Heckert.
Heckert brings that one in, slides down to about the 6-yard line, so they're going to set up.
You hit me in the hands, I may drop it, but if you make me, that was a great-looking play.
Yep.
Great catch there by Heckert.
Applegate calls the offensive play. He's going to run option right. Skaggs is wide open.
It's good.
It's a touchdown. So Clinton-Massie gives up the first points in the last 4 years against Batavia by letting Batavia score with 1:24 left in the first quarter. And I said, if they don't score, it's going to get ugly. So they answered the call.
Yeah, they needed that to get some momentum to just help those boys. They've been, through a lot the last couple of weeks. So they need that. And honestly, we don't want to sit here and see a 60-0 game. We want to see a good game. So good for them guys and good for the fans that came out tonight.
Does that start off a little odd with the squib or low kick? So 2-point conversion this time is thrown back to Applegate. But you're going to see a penalty right here. The offensive lineman might have held one of the defensive players. So we'll see if that try actually counts here in just a second. The referee's going to look over here to the sideline. The try is good. Roughing the passer is going to be the call.
Wow, here they go.
Massey. So interesting call on a 2-point try. They are able to call the 2-point conversion is good. Roughing the passer, which I assume is going to be brought on the kickoff.
Kickoff,
so
probably.
It's going to bring the kickoff a lot closer to the Clinton-Massie side of the field. But, I mean, Batavia, like you said, needed that after 3 weeks off, a little momentum shift, a little change in their mentality.
Good for them.
Yep.
And, Matt, we kind of alluded to that last week. We're seeing a change in football, and it's moving down to the high school level. You're going to see a lot of spread offense.
Yes.
And I think we're going to see it against New Richmond as well.
Yes,
that can put a lot of points on the board. So it's not a bad thing to see this and learn to practice against it. But it's funny. Every week you see these guys coming out shotgun, 3 and 4 receiver sets, and it's moving down to this high school level. It's what they like playing.
And I'm a former coach myself. I coached at Reading when we were all 4 wide, throwing it 60 times a game. And for some teams, when you just have the talent that's better than everybody, that works. But I will say this. I noticed that as the weather gets colder, if it's windy, if it's rainy, your hands get a little bit harder. The hands of the quarterback get a little bit slipperier. So it sometimes can cause you trouble.
You knew this was coming.
McDowell gets a second onside kick recovery, this time a little quicker than the last one. He gets it. He drops to the ground. But I do think that running the ball is very important.
It's big. Yeah. When you get, and if you can make it up to, is it Massillon or Canton where we play?
It'll sometimes it switches, but
if you
stay
get that
at
far,
right now.
There's been snow that falls.
Absolutely.
And if you can run the ball at that late in the season, it's a big deal. So I like what Massey's doing tonight, doing a little both, about 50-50 with running and passing tonight.
Yeah, one of the Clinton-Massie state championship games was in just an absolute snowstorm. So Carson Van Hoos gets the ball with one carry. A shoestring tackle is going to stop him at about the 47-yard line or so. If he wouldn't have been tripped up by that person, I think he would have just outran everybody else.
He said, not so fast, my friend.
Yeah.
But you see the speed there of Carson, and he gets one more of those, and they don't get a shoestring there. He's probably gone.
It just seemed like the holes are there. I mean, he's running through a considerable size hole. So double slot, single fullback. Carter Frank goes in motion, but Dalen Maple gets the carry, and he's able to outrun everybody, but he is brought down in the last second by number 7 for Batavia, and that's Daniel Hellman. So Hellman saves a touchdown. That goes back to something we've talked about in multiple broadcasts, and that is Dalen Maple can be at full speed in 2 to 3 strikes.
Yeah, real versatile player, great defender, but then made the most of that block and about had one to the house.
Wishbone with an unbalanced line to the right. Van Hoos gets the carry, gets good yardage on the first down, just establishing the line of scrimmage about 5 yards deep.
I'm sitting here wondering how it would be to be that fast that you can almost outrun your blockers.
Yes.
He is so fast.
I have never had that problem.
Me neither.
I've never had to worry about
that's
that.
like to be that fast.
That you have to slow down.
He accelerates so fast.
Does a great job and secures the ball. Does a nice job seeing, having vision there to make the cuts back to the inside of the field and score. A lot of times the ball's going to go to him again. Van Hoos, that's that jump cut right there, gets down to about the 2-yard line. So I think Clinton-Massie just wants to make sure they answer correctly and answer strong.
Yeah, they're doing what they do. They're marching down here.
7 seconds down, and we're about to have a quarter change here in just a second. So as the first quarter comes to an end, EJ, just give us a quick synopsis of what you see from both teams, starting with the Batavia Bulldogs.
Well, it's good to see them move the ball that last drive. They were taking some chances and some risk, and it wasn't paying off. But this one, it did. They got some good field position and made the most of it and marched down here. And so we got a 21-8 ball game. Got a tight game, and looks like Massey is just doing what they do. They're marching the ball down, methodical, good drives, open up holes. Both lines, offense and defensive lines for Massey is playing great.
So we'd like to share with you our sponsors for tonight's Monday Night Football contest. We're going to start with Sam's Meats. Football fans, stop by Sam's Meats located in Wilmington, Ohio at 1209 West Locust Street to support a locally owned and operated business. Sam's Meat has fresh chicken, pork, and beef along with deli, cheese, and lunch meats. Their meat deals are a great way to buy meat in bulk, helping you save both time and money. The dining room is open for you to enjoy homemade hot bar meals and their made-to-order grill menu. Sam's Meat also offers catering, party trays, and a variety of homemade desserts. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays. Hey, go check them out. And I believe, EJ,
I got a story.
You went and checked them out.
I went and checked them out last Saturday.
And why did you check them out? Because what did you want?
I wanted bacon.
You wanted the best bacon in town.
We had at our church, all the gardeners and farmers are bringing in these fresh tomatoes. And what's better than a BLT? Go to Sam's, give me a couple pounds of bacon.
Yes.
When you got 4 kids, you need a couple pounds at least.
Absolutely.
Fried it up, had the best BLT. Folks, it was delicious. It's the real deal. Go out to Sam's.
So you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Sam's Meat, best bacon in town.
It's the real deal.
We're still waiting for the Baker Bunch. We're still waiting for the 5-pound Baker Special.
I should have got the 5-pounder.
Yeah, it's coming, I'm sure. So we'll bring the rest of your sponsors back to you here in just a second, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to bring us back to action at the start of the second quarter. 21-8 is your score with Clinton-Massie driving on the 2-yard line. Looks like wishbone backfield with one receiver to the right. Ball goes to Carson Van Hoos, and he's going to score.
Nice hole. Great job, offensive line.
Nice answer. It's a quick answer. It's a strong answer. It's the type of answer Clinton-Massie would expect from their offense immediately following for them, what they would consider a surprise score. So as we bring that score to the board, we're going to give you one more sponsor. Tin Cap is more than just your locally owned hard cider company. Tin Cap offers handcrafted hard ciders along with local craft beers, cocktails, and pizza. Tin Cap leads the area in entertainment, offering large TVs for big games, just like Clinton-Massie Falcons versus Batavia Bulldogs, the largest outdoor patio with covered area, and a large stage for live music. Join your friends at Tin Cap, where they're always serving up smiles by the glassful. See you for live music Saturdays and trivia Thursdays at Tin Cap, located at 59 West Sugar Street in Wilmington, Ohio. That point after attempt was good. So 28-8 is your score. Takes us to Collett Farms. Collett Farms and Pioneer Seed is a family-owned and operated seed dealership offering Pioneer brand products, seed treatments, and trusted agronomic advice for over 45 years. With the use of local data, technology, and digital tools, we help farmers maximize every acre's potential. Count on us to be there throughout the season, working directly with you. Collett Farms and Pioneer Seed. We are farmers just like you. John Roberts Excavating, located in Wilmington, is a family-owned and operated business since 1998. They are specialized in experience in general excavation, sewer, storm, grading, field tile, drainage, land clearing, ponds, demolition, and paving. Look us up on Facebook or call 937-382-1788. That's 937-382-1788 for a free estimate. I do have to note something for Clinton-Massie Local Schools. Proud to say that for the first time in a long time, Clinton-Massie now has an active FFA chapter.
Awesome.
Recognized by the state. Officers were chosen last week, and we just posted that information today. So Clinton-Massie, as they should have for many, many years, now an FFA active chapter. Excited about that coming back to Clinton-Massie. Skaggs with the return of this kick up to the 28-yard line, 23-yard line. It's going to be stopped there. So he gets a 13-yard return to set up Batavia with another 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line.
Not too much. The special teams is playing good tonight by Clinton-Massie. Been pinning them back deep in their territory. So not a bad return, but a good stop there by Massey. I will say, too, the folks at Sam's are nice folks.
Good people, yeah. They're very supportive of the school district.
Great meet. They're the real deal. Support them, folks.
Skaggs with the carry. He's met immediately by Caden Clutter and Dalen Maple and Colton Doyle. So that's going to be a stop right at the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 2nd and 10. They start immediately back to the line. Applegate sets his 5 receivers, 3 to his left, 2 to his right. Shotgun snap goes to him. He drops in a 3-step drop, releases the ball. Nice spin on it. Number 13's got it again. That's Skaggs. Carter Frank pushes him out of bounds at about the 24-yard line. So looks like he went from 23 to 24 on that particular play. So about 50 yards, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice play by Skaggs.
Nice play. So all of a sudden, Batavia is recognizing what Western Brown did and that there are sometimes holes in the defensive backfield for the Clinton-Massie Falcons.
Yeah, and he exploited that there, and now we're moved down almost in the red zone for Batavia.
Applegate again, spins it.
Got it.
Touchdown.
Wow.
So this time Braden Roth beat to the inside by, I believe that's number 8. And which he's made a couple plays already. That number 8 that's Heckert. That's the Heckert.
Great play.
Yeah.
And maybe we have what we had Western Brown. They come back and then all of a sudden they just keep scoring for scoring and they get their rhythm. We'll see here.
Western Brown actually had 2 kind of bad series to start the game and then rattles off about 54 points over the next 3.5 quarters.
It's eerily similar right now.
It doesn't
but
look
Batavia
like
hadn't played football in a long time, so they're getting their rhythm right now, and they're looking a lot better than they were a quarter ago.
2-point attempt from the left hash. Applegate gets the snap. The ball goes to the single receiver side.
Oh,
he is met and brought down by Carter Uten, so that try is going to be no good. But with 11:15 left, you have a 28-14 score. So all of a sudden what looked like an absolutely dominating game by the Clinton-Massie Falcons. There was no score from the other side. They were moving the ball. All of a sudden it's 2 scores.
Yeah, the 50-yard bomb definitely sets them up to Skaggs and sets them up. And then they just a great – and Applegate looks like he's getting in his rhythm.
Does.
Just kind of like – last week at Western Brown, you give him a quarter, he's kind of getting in there, spinning it well.
Yep. He is spinning a nice ball. I mean, he is putting it right on the numbers of any receiver he goes for. The
Massey guys are sitting there with their hands like, are we really going to go through this again tonight? Yeah. And so we need to answer, but we need to come back and stop them as well. So here we are.
It'll be interesting what the defense decides to do. Having seen this once before last week against Western Brown, I'm sure they don't want to get into another shootout. So let's hope that somebody on the defense decides to put this to a stop and take the ball in their own hands. So Clinton-Massie brings a few extra returnees up closer to the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I would say if I'm going to guess, if you've just scored, why not take your chances and go for another dribbler, which is exactly what they do. The ball pops up this time to Dawson Conley. Great hands. Dawson Conley's got great hands, so no problem reeling that ball in and flips the ball over to Batavia. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Reminds me of a story playing softball. Had that pitcher when we were playing defense would always tell you, hey, this hitter came to you last time. Finally, my brother spoke up and said, would you stop telling me that? I'm already nervous enough. And so when you are standing there, you know those nerves got to be there.
Ice water in his veins.
These guys are making some great plays on the ball, and they're making number 84 some good hands there.
Yeah,
and way to make the play, guys.
Dawson had no problem bringing that ball in and setting his offense up for a 1st and 10. They're going to spot the ball at I think right at the 49, maybe 50-yard line. They're going to spot it at the 50. So at the 50-yard line, 1st and 10 for Clinton-Massie. They're moving right to left on your TV screen. Cody Zantini gets his double slot single fullback set. The motion goes to Carson Van Hoos. The pitch goes to Van Hoos. Boffman's out wide. Van Hoos makes 2 people miss. Cut across the grain. Two misses. Now he's able to get a block from Cody Zantini. He spins inside and he's going to score, but as you said,
is Van Hoos on the loose?
I believe Van Hoos is on the loose, but they're going to stop and bring the ball back.
According to Batavia player, he's saying, come on back.
Yeah, they're calling a hold immediately. And
love that cutback.
So great run by Carson Van Hoos, taking nothing away from that. But we've talked now for the fourth time. This is the fourth broadcast, and that outside holding call. When I say outside, meaning one of our one of our linemen gets outside of the tackle box and starts running with the running back, and all of a sudden they get a holding call. So we have seen that multiple times this year. We're now 4 games into the season, and we're seeing the same call.
Yeah, we got to clean that up. It's a shame on a run like that. And the plays, and then Zantini makes an incredible block at the end.
He did to spring it for the touchdown after about 4 or 5 different jukes and jump cuts and misses.
And I want to tell you that about Massey. People say, why are they so successful? Because the unselfish play. You know, they got a stable of backs, but the other backs, when they're not running, you see Colton out there making blocks. You see Zantini, the quarterback, which they would tell you not to do in college and pro level. But they're in there making the blocks for their teammates. It's unselfish play is why they're so successful.
An others first mentality.
Yes.
So fullback, wishbone, Carter Frank
My turn.
breaking loose. This time he's
gone.
He breaks this one wide open. He's going down the left-hand side, and Hill's going to score easily.
Little track pose there at the end.
Gives a little break for the ribbon there at the last minute. So 10:50 left in the second quarter.
That's for Grammy and Gramps and Nana right there.
Yes, Nana's. We haven't heard from Nana yet. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to send your shout-outs, feel free to text those to 937-303-8069. And I have a question for the audience, EJ.
Yes, sir.
So we know Sam's Meats has the greatest bacon.
Yes.
And we know everybody, if I put out the question of how do you like your bacon, crispy's going to win by 90%, I'd say easily, right? I mean, for the most part.
Yeah,
okay.
I like crispy.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that. I've got friends of mine, my family members, friends of mine that are at the house right now that are cooking up some steaks. Shout out to my wife and the rest of the crew cooking up the steaks on this Monday Night Football. They're listening to our broadcast, enjoying a good filet or whatever it might be. I need to know from the audience, finish this sentence. I like my steak cooked.
Medium rare.
Medium rare.
Medium rare.
Rick, what do you think?
Rick's words of wisdom, second quarter tonight,
Rick
folks.
Phillips.
Rick, that's right.
Words of wisdom comes with
medium rare.
We do have a new cameraman tonight, so Corey's not able to join us. We got Trevor Smith. Trevor Smith, your answer to I like my steak cooked? Medium rare. Ladies and gentlemen, I need some help. I'm a medium well kind of guy, so I need you to text in. I need you to text in.
You know, that's ironic you say that because you know what I had on the grill? I go to the freezer. We had a couple steaks in the freezer. I threw them on today right before I came. Medium rare.
Oh.
Lacey made some noodles and some broccoli.
Before
delicious.
I can even say the number again, I'm getting texts from some of those people in that group I just mentioned saying medium rare, baby.
And I got a follow-up story, and this has to do with Collette Farms as well. I know it's kind of funny.
Collette Farms, what do you got to say about Collette?
Do they fill up propane tanks? Because guess what happens in my steak?
That's the other Collette.
Oh, it's the other Collette. Okay,
Collette propane.
Gotcha. Because I'm in the middle of my steak, it cuts out. I got to go get my propane filled up.
Gotcha.
But we finished them on the burner, and they were delicious, but medium rare.
Okay, so I'm getting a little bit of defensive back. I got charcoal briquette style. How about that? So well done that it's burnt. That's my loving wife is going to say, well done, burnt. So anybody else that wants to send that out, that's 937-303-8069.
So I got to go with the old joke. Your wife thinks you're a god. She offers you burnt sacrifices.
Burnt sacrifices. That's why she likes those steaks well done. So Max Applegate spinning another one. Ooh. A wide open receiver got behind Carson
Heckert
Van Hoos that time. Heckert almost had another score.
And if you get behind Van Hoos, that's pretty good speed.
Yeah, maybe get caught a little bit looking in the backfield. So, again, 937-303-8069. The question to the audience, you can send your shout-outs still to that number, but also the question is, I like my steak cooked blank.
All right.
What is that response? So
let us know.
Coming into the game, I believe that's Bryce Scaff is going to be in there for the Clinton-Massie Falcons at the defensive back position. Long ball, Carter Frank with the ball to his inside. They had that receiver bracketed that time. Yeah. So
they're adjusting to this and making some good play there by the DBs. I remember what the one famous French chef who cooks his steak, and he said he only does it medium rare. He said,
right.
It would be a shame to kill it twice.
Yes, there you go. A lot of people say you're cooking all the flavor out, and I will have to say I am getting just slaughtered, no pun intended for the meat joke, but medium rare across the board looks like, another medium rare, another medium rare, another medium rare. It's all medium rare. So I guess people have the same mentality as the Lamb household and the others that are eating right now. While we're here working hard, broadcasting, and people are eating steaks, but they're eating them all medium rare.
Hey, I love to grill in cool fall days. You're not sweating over the grill. Beautiful night to grill.
Applegate with the option. He gets it out to Skaggs. Skaggs is going to have about a 3-yard gain to his right. It's going to bring a 4th down, and I'd say probably about a yard or so. Is there even a guess whether he's going for this or not? Does he try to make him jump off sides and then tries to get the...
Roll the dice.
Absolutely.
Here he comes.
So trips left, 2 receivers to the right. Empty backfield. He almost gets Colton Trampler to jump off, but I think Colton knew what he was doing on there in the hard count.
So this is protocol. Try to get him on the hard count.
And then he looks over to the sideline, and you can see that the coach just called an actual play. So they're going to snap this ball here, and we'll have Applegate. He made a motion with his foot to tell his receivers what the play is going to be. Another motion from the coach. The ball snapped.
Get him. Got it.
Number
Wow.
5. Oh,
nice
number
play.
5 bounces off a couple people, and that's
Drew Mentzel. Mentzel, nice catch, nice way to take the hit and then bounce off and get a few more yards. And I believe Applegate took a hit there too.
Yards after the catch. Looked like Dalen Maple had his number right there.
Yeah, put the stick on him. Here he comes though, and they converted.
First down at the 50-yard line. Throws it again. This time it's open to Skaggs. Skaggs gets the ball, keeps it underneath, it keeps it underneath. But another first down. So on first down, getting a first down through the air for the Batavia Bulldogs.
If there ever was a year that the Falcons defense was getting their practice as they go into the playoffs on this spread offense and passing game, it's definitely this year.
Out of the game for Clinton-Massie's Blake Irelan. Green into the game. This deep ball is going to Carter Frank.
He got it.
He's able to pick this ball and then gets taken down immediately by a Batavia Bulldog. That's number 5, I believe. That's Heckert. Yep, Heckert brings him down.
Nice play, Carter Frank.
So finally gets a turnover for the defense. I guess went to the well one too many times there on the deep ball.
Yes, he did. And just Carter Frank played that perfectly, got good positioning, and kind of fought that ball away from the wide receiver from Heckert there. And now here we are. We got a long field, but the way Massey's rolling, they can roll it 95 yards.
And I think it would be good to maybe keep some time or eat some time off the clock. There's 9 minutes left in this second quarter, so 35-14 is your score. Why don't we go on about a 6-minute drive here and just eat up a bunch of clock?
That'd be good. Give your defense a break.
Keep them off the field. So Carson Van Hoos takes the pitch. Boffman's out wide with him with a good block. He makes one person miss and then does a jump cut to get a first down on first down.
I think we're too electric to give a 6-7 minute drive. I think we have too many big play, our offensive line, and that's great. They block well. Our running backs, like I said last week, our running backs are so explosive. In the fourth quarter, they still look good and fresh last week.
Yeah, I'd say it's a good problem to have when you have to tell them to slow down a little bit. So, but you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. You want to eat up clock on this one. Now, if you break one, you break one. But at this point, you want to eat some clock. So double slot with Colton Trampler in the backfield. One receiver to his left. Colton Trampler gets a carry. He breaks open loose. He's able to make one person miss. He pushes off another person. That's going to be a first down run on first down, about a 15-yard run. I tell you, Colton Trampler, I think, is underestimated for his speed.
Yeah, because he's shifty, too.
Yeah.
Real shifty in the open field. And I thought he has the option of plowing the guy over, juking him, and did a little move, got a few more yards there. But Colton's a great running back.
You related him to Mike Allstock,
I
believe. And I do. Actually. Give him a big neck guard and he would.
Yeah, he'd look just like him.
Yeah. So double slot again. Colton Trampler at the fullback position. Blocks for Carter Frank. Carter Frank gets met pretty quickly after the line of scrimmage. So he's only getting just a couple yards on that one. So Clinton-Massie is okay with eating up a little bit of time here.
Now you got me thinking about steaks, man.
Yeah.
Eating up.
Yeah. I mean, this is not even a contest. Medium rare, medium rare, medium rare, medium rare. I do throw a medium well and a well done in there, but it's
about time you repent, Matt.
Yeah, I tell you, it's not even close. It's not even close, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll bring you some more shout outs here at the next time out, or maybe at the quarter break. But a double slot and now motion with Carter Van Hoos getting the pitch. Boffman out wide with the block. That's going to be a first down run. He's taken out of bounds by Skaggs on defense. So that's going to be a first down run on the 7-minute mark. About 7 minutes left in the second quarter with your score 35-14. Clinton-Massie with the lead. So after a couple quick scores by Batavia to answer Clinton-Massie scores, Clinton-Massie with a turnover, which was an interception by Carter Frank and a return for a couple yards. We're now about 45 yards into this drive right now and eating up a little bit of clock.
We're
so
2.5
exactly
minutes
what you
into
wanted.
it. Yeah, that's what you want to do in marching down. And again, the line's just blowing up some great holes.
Full house backfield. I'm sorry, wishbone backfield. Carter Frank bounces it outside, has a block by Colton Trampler, and makes another man miss. This time,
Barry Sanders.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too much juking and jiving there. Take your yards, go down on the next play, and get ready for, in this case, it may be third down. So Carter Frank's able to get a positive yards, although he ran probably 20 yards.
I thought he was going to cut back across the whole field and do the old number 20 Barry Sanders.
If it wasn't for one defender, I think he would have tried that.
He kind of trapped him there.
Yep. So Clinton-Massie sets up at the 47-yard line with 2nd down and 7 to go. Donald Burr brings in the play. He's going to be flanker right. Double slot with Carter Frank and Carson Van Hoos at your slot positions. Colton Tramplers, your fullback, Dawson Conley on the left. So the fullback give goes to Colton Trampler.
He does look explosive, don't
I'm telling you, he looks quick. He looks quick. If he is underestimated in speed. He took that ball and just jetted 7 or 8 yards immediately before he was ever touched, and then brought down in the defensive backfield it took 2 defenders to bring him down. So first down at the 37-yard line with Clinton-Massie driving. Blake Irelan brings the play in this time. He's going to play our flanker to the right.
Liking this offense, they're running on them, passing on them. They're just so versatile tonight. Everything's working.
Carson Van Hoos goes into motion. This time Cody Zantini keeps it. He's going to run out right, and he's got an open green grass field in front of him, and he's going to get a touchdown in the right-hand corner of the end zone. He puts his hands up in celebration.
Way to go, Blake, and lay that block for him.
That was a touchdown-causing block there on the right-hand side.
Nice block.
So that's going to bring Clinton-Massie eating up a little bit of time, but eventually with the score, 5:35 left in the second quarter, 41-14 is your current score, going for the extra point attempt.
Team play right there. Ireland lays a block. It was Zantini earlier in the game laying the block for his running back. Guys, if you're teaching a young football squad, teach them this, to be unselfish, to lay down those blocks for each other, and then everybody wins. Everybody gets in the end zone. Great playing, great team play by Massey.
Trevor McGinnis is going to try the point after attempt. The ball is set, it's kicked, and it's good. So that's going to bring your score to 42-14. We want to spend a special shout out to Roscoe's Pizza in Corwin, near Waynesville, for doing a great fundraiser yesterday for Massey football. If you haven't tried Roscoe's yet, their specialty pizzas are definitely worth it. That's from Rhonda Gross, who also says she likes her steak medium rare.
All right, hey, you know what? Roscoe's is good, just down the road from my in-laws there in Waynesville, across the pond. Good pizza joint there for sure. So I'm going to have to get some of that maybe sometime this week.
Shout out says Go Falcons, Bob and Linda Beecroft, the grandparents of Owen Trick, watching from Gilbert, Arizona. Arizona representing. Another medium rare watching from Blue Ash, Go Brody. This is... at least I got a medium. That's somewhat close. Medium well. This is my person right here. And just here's a little extra advertising for Propane. They mentioned their $10 Tuesday refills
I'll see you tomorrow.
Their propane tank. So anybody wants to refill, it's $10 on Tuesday. Trevor McGinnis with a nice end-over-end kick. It's received at the 10-yard line by Skaggs. He's able to turn the ball up at the 20-yard line, but he's going to be brought immediately down by Clinton-Massie. And a host of Falcons there. Finishing out these shout-outs, we have another medium rare this time. That's Art and Connie Whitaker watching from Red Bay, Alabama. Thanks for streaming. Love the replays.
All right.
And loving that medium rare steak. So how about this? We have Darren and Trevor Cantrell watching from Boston.
Hey,
from Boston. So we send a shout-out to them. Congratulations to the players for training so hard this year, he says. So Clinton-Massie meets the running back in the backfield, is able to drag him down. That's Leighton Bell. Along with number 69 is Trevor, and I'm going to get you a last name here in just a second for Clinton-Massie. Getting some playing time here on the defensive line.
Yeah, they're looking good.
Nate Wildermuth in the game as well. Dalen Maples on your left end here. So staying with that 4-2 look. Batavia drops the ball. Dalen Maples able to. It's actually going to be. It looks like Trevor might have pulled that ball in. Dalen Maple reached down for it.
And Dalen Maple put some syrup on that pancake.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
Got him all night.
Save me. Save me.
Yeah.
Corny line number 2. I'm telling you, Rick, we're missing one thing. CampusNation.com does a great job with production. Rick Phillips and his crew. But we need the corny line counter up on the screen at some point. At some point, we need that before the playoffs start. So E.J. Lamb giving his best.
Got him all day, folks.
What was that?
Put some maple syrup on that pancake.
Maple syrup on it. Oh, help us. Help us.
Can't help it. What's in the well comes up in the bucket, Matt.
Clinton-Massie with a double slot. Donald Brewer's your flanker to the left. The fake of the fullback dive. The pitch goes to Carter Frank. He almost turns the corner. It takes a nice hard hit. Immediately, Batavia player reaches down to pick him up. That is good sportsmanship. But we do have a player down for Batavia. That's number 40, and that's that staple of the defense for them. I believe that's your Max
Stewart.
Max Stewart.
Big Max Stewart.
That's their quarterback of the defense, so we don't want to see him.
6'3", 220, yeah. They need him on the field. They got any shot at all.
Jennifer Shockley's going to check in and say that she likes hers burnt. So she's along with my wife there. So
you got a friend.
I do. I do have the Shockley family misses being at the game, but thanks to us for the broadcast. The great people at Campus Nation do a great job bringing this exciting event of the Batavia Bulldogs versus the Clinton-Massie Falcons to you tonight. If you are on there watching right now, we appreciate it. And if you know a friend that wants to see this game, tell them to go to campusnation.com or go to YouTube and search Campus Nation. How about, I've got one for you. You're getting some suggestions. How about Frank the Tank?
Oh, yeah, we like Frank the Tank. Got that one last.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Van Hoos just let loose.
Yes,
we appreciate the extra thoughts here behind some of our
corny
line counter.
Some real wordsmiths out there in the Massey community.
Oh, it says Nana is here.
Yay,
That's
Nana.
my boy.
That's right.
Carter Frank's Nana being so proud, reaching right over from our Highland County friends there, and they appreciate us covering the games to see Carter Frank play such a great job. And Nana is here, and tell Carter that Nana's watching.
All right, looks like we got 4 yards to go here.
So Clinton-Massie's going to set up in their wishbone, double tight look, so a little power offense here. Carson Van Hoos just walks in pretty much unabated.
He is on the loose, folks.
He is on the loose. So shout out to Donald Brewer from Aunt Kathy and Uncle Steve in Atlanta, GA. Way to go, number 17. They appreciate the broadcast as well. So if you got your shout outs, ladies and gentlemen, again, you can send them to 937-303-8069 and answer the question for me, although it seems like this one's in the books.
Yeah.
I like my steak cooked blank.
Medium rare?
Medium rare. It looks like medium
could
rare.
Be well.
Mrs. Bailey with a medium well and knowing the deal for Cullet Propane, so that's appreciated.
That is appreciated.
Absolutely.
And that is just down the road, I believe, from me there.
Yeah, just on 73, Cullet Propane, again, a big supporter of Clinton-Massie local schools. So 49-14 is your score with 4:45 left in your second quarter. So a little bit of time eating off there, but it does seem like we're a little bit in a spin the wheels mode as far as can't eat the clock up fast enough with Clinton-Massie wanting to get into this halftime, take their lead, again, a 35-point lead at this point, and then hopefully go running clock in the second half. The 2 turnovers at this point are definitely your difference makers.
Yeah, right there, especially down in the red zone, and you have that fumble, Massey recovers, and then it's 49 points. Now, last week, folks, was it 86 against Western
86.
Brown? And that was a
to
record.
54. It was. That is the most points scored by Clinton-Massie football
tonight,
team.
If Batavia can get back in this, they'll leave their starters in, but this may be one of those nights by the end of the third. Maybe we're looking at bringing in some of the reserves. But 49 points in the first half is a lot. They've yet to stop us. So have we seen a punt tonight? I don't think we have.
We haven't punted, no, and I don't believe they punted because they go for it on
There's, I guess, a reason
4th
he
and
laughed
22 from the 18-yard line.
Yeah, so we may see a game. We'll see.
Trevor McGinnis with a kick.
Nice
Beautiful kick. Thin
Nice
air.
kick.
Goes back all the way to the 5-yard line, end over end. Skaggs, again, he breaks out to the outside. He's able to get a couple extra yards this time and make it up to the 25-yard line. Now, here's one I'm not familiar with it. I like my steak boiled. Boiled steak?
Are we talking about dropping it in water?
I guess. Boiled? Or broiled?
Broiled.
You think it's
Maybe
broiled?
yeah.
I think they put boiled in.
That's good. I'm in.
Yeah, no, it says boiled in bold in all caps.
Oh, well.
So I'm gonna say that must be boiled. Yeah, that's different. So Clinton-Massie setting up against a 3-by-1 look, trips to the left, single receiver to the right, a running back behind Max Applegate. He's sent into motion off to the right, looking for pressure immediately on Max Applegate. He's
nice
able
run.
to scramble Colton Trampler and Dalen Maple, bring him down
Close
flat
to
as
first.
a pancake.
Yes,
Maple
they
takes
did.
him down to the ground. Okay, I tried to at least get one back from you.
Can't steal my lines, Matt.
Yeah, I know. That
Feel
doesn't work.
free.
It doesn't work the same.
No, you feel free.
Trips to the left, single receiver to the right. Looks like Applegate looks to his coach on the sideline for the play. And just like we saw in Western Brown last week, the plays are coming in a little bit slower. The line's not getting quite as set as
a little
fast.
lethargic.
Yeah, and the motion to the right. This time he's going to scramble again. He's met in the backfield this time.
I like our D-line.
And brought down.
In a lot of those passes that Applegate has got away and released, he was just a split second before getting nailed by our D-line. They're getting some pressure on him, and I think that's affecting them tonight.
So this time it's 3rd and 2. It's going to be a long 2, what it feels like, I'm sure, for Batavia, with a 3 receiver to the top of your TV screen, 1 receiver down here to the right.
Well, they got 2 plays to get it. May not feel too long.
Yeah, that's true. They're going to go for it on 4th down, so they've got 2 plays to get 2 yards. They try for a hard count, back over to the sideline. Plays called by the offensive coordinator for Batavia. Ball is snapped. They go into an option to the right. Skaggs gets it. He's going to have the first down. He's going to go out of bounds.
Maple contained him there, but he took the option and pitched it out, and that's a good play on Applegate's part.
And smart to stop the clock, maybe get a couple extra plays in by stopping the clock. Cody Zantini was in the lane there ready to make that tackle, but he stepped out of bounds at the last second there. Back to the line quicker this time. Option to the right this time. Applegate keeps it. He's met immediately by Colton Doyle. Colton Doyle uses his wrestling skills to wrap up, bring him down. Timeout for Clinton-Massie.
My 9-year-old son Carter, made the comment to me last week, Dad, Massey's got quite a few guys playing both ways. And this year, if you look at Frank, and then you got Zantini that comes in, Van Hoos, these guys.
Van Hoos and Carter play all the time.
I will say they're in great shape because they still look explosive. But one of the things this year, our DBs, they're our running backs, and Irelan sprinkles in a few offensive plays.
Yeah, and Uten as well.
But we got a few guys, a few guys that are playing both ways out there. And then Zantini comes in. Does that concern you?
It does.
Going
actually.
into the playoffs,
It does.
like injury, of course, but of course, we're going to wear down. But we got to have him out there, obviously.
Yeah, when you have an injury, now you're taking away 2 positions if you're a 2-way starter, 2-way go. I would say that wearing down play after play is also going to be an issue potentially as the year goes on. I think you're seeing a couple guys sprinkling in here. You do have a couple guys that are on the defensive line that have played some snaps this time that are getting a few reps. You're getting Bryce in there, number 23. He's in there at the defensive backfield, so he's getting some reps in there to give either Uten or possibly Blake Irelan a little bit of rest, depending on what the play is, or they're just setting up with a different defense and allowing more of a defensive backfield look with a nickel package or maybe up to a dime package, depending on if it's an empty backfield or not. So Clinton-Massie sets up. Looks like the blitz is on, or at least the perceived blitz is on from Caden Clutter this time. Trampler kind of sugars up to the line.
There's movement. Yep.
Looks like they caught him. Yeah,
67 looked like.
It's going to be a false start on the Batavia Bulldogs. A little bit too long waiting for Applegate to call the play on that one.
Yeah, and like you alluded to, these plays aren't coming in near as quick, and they're thinking about it a little bit more.
A lot of love for Carter Frank. Carter Frank, the tank, is our great-great-grandson. So Mamaw and Pat Ball from Keavy, Kentucky.
Hey.
God's country in
yes,
Kentucky.
Is. Got family in Kentucky.
Little pressure there, and then
nice
Charlie
play.
Hale comes off of the block, makes a play. He's going to lose about 8 yards on that.
Is it raining
play.
on the field, or is that Hale? I believe that's
Charlie Hale.
There you go.
Wow. Give it to him again. We need a counter. I mean, we are missing out on the opportunity to memorialize each one of these fine calls. But is it raining on the field because we see some Charlie Hale? Yes, Trevor. We appreciate Trevor is now.
I got some love by Trevor in here. He's
Trevor
giving me
Smith,
the
our
little drum roll
cameraman, has decided to not only give him the rim shot, but he's actually going to keep track here on our on our board in front of us here. So the score right now is 3-0. I was able to get one back, but it doesn't count if I'm using your words against you. So yeah, that's.
Go ahead.
So Carter Frank the tank again. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is fantastic. We were actually sent a picture of a 4-month-old Carter Frank. That's going to make its way around the press box.
Put on the camera.
Yeah, everybody's. We'll see if we can get this. It's probably not going to focus very well. There we go. So Carter Frank, the tank.
And all the wives and moms are going,
oh, that's beautiful. What a lovely
tank.
baby. What a lovely baby.
Little tight tank there.
So beautiful
nice
pass.
Throw.
But cut underneath.
That's the wrist. Nothing
Skag
intentional.
Is
just
Cody Zantini. Ooh, Skag is going to stay on the ground here for just a second.
Took a hard hit there, folks.
He did. So Zantini flips him just a little bit. He's able to roll over on his own power. So we're going to check on that young man here as the training staff goes to him.
Good,
yeah, he's going to be okay. I think
pain.
it probably scared him more than anything else. Anytime you're up in the air and your legs get taken out from under you, you're just hoping to land safely. So Clinton-Massie comes to the side as the injury timeout. Batavia goes to their coach's side as well. We're going to check on Skag. And he's one of those guys where we talked before about if you lose a guy, it goes both ways. I mean, he does everything. I mean, if they were to punt, he might punt. He does some place kicking for him. I mean, he does everything.
He might have got the air knocked out. It's kind of, we'll see.
It seems like he's holding
Hopefully he's okay.
So,
now, I will say, I wonder if Carter Frank knows that we're sitting up here in the press box getting baby pictures of him.
Oh, I don't think so. I think he'd be upset at us. So make ours medium well and well done on the bacon. We know we wrap those tenderloins cooked on a charcoal grill from Michigan. I will say that might have been another question.
In Michigan?
I think so. You charcoal them on the charcoal grill and wrap a little bacon around them. Also, shout out here, looks like from Tim McGraw. He wants his medium well. So at least I got one guy. It's going to be me.
Tim McGraw?
Tim McGraw? Not that Tim McGraw.
Okay.
Yeah, we have
when
a great.
I think Tim McGraw, I think my favorite steak.
So Tim McGraw is a teacher for Clinton-Massie local schools, does a great job, helps out in our as an intervention specialist. So, but when you do say Tim McGraw, you think that's your favorite song, right?
Yeah. I think he's a Falcon outlaw. Yeah.
Give it to you. Okay, you got it. Trevor Smith just gave you one that didn't even count towards a play. So I mean, it's now 4-0. So I think it's going to be a runaway from the corny line counter.
And the young man is up.
He is up.
We're thankful
he's
for that.
on his own power. He's walking off onto the side there. So Clinton-Massie wants to go into halftime and needs about 2 minutes and 49 seconds of time to expire. 49-14 is your score on a beautiful night, Monday Night Football.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh no! Okay, so we want to correct something here. That is actually Carter's little cousin.
Oh, little cousin
that was watching the game. Hopefully excited.
That's Baby Tank.
He was watching, excited
He's
for
pumped.
Carter. So that's not that.
Well, hello,
wasn't
Baby
little,
Tank.
Yeah, that wasn't little Carter. But we're going to try to find one for him here of a picture of Carter here in the future. So we appreciate. Now we're getting baby pictures. We're getting steak orders. We've got bacon flying everywhere. And then, by the way, we also have a football game going on. So Max Applegate's fumbles a snap just a little bit. Lots of pressure from Hale and Maple. So they're able to bring him down at the 25-yard line, which is going to be a turnover on downs, and goes to Clinton-Massie with a very short field and 2 minutes left.
Nice play.
You know, gambling is a certain there's a certain respect for being a gambler, but I tell you, at that point, I think you got to kick it away, especially with 2 minutes left, because you might be able to just hold them off long enough to let time expire before you go in.
And here they are, Massey. You know, they criticized Massey a few folks last week because they ran. But what do you want? They're running the ball, as they were thinking maybe running the score up on Western Brown, but they're running the ball. Football coaching 101, you never tell your kid, well, take a play off.
No,
if they're doing it,
down.
You run 100% of the time, and Massey's not going to take a play off with a couple minutes left and going into halftime.
Okay, so Wishbone, Cody Zantini brings the ball out.
This
time to Dawson Conley, drops a dime right on over his shoulder. Beautiful pass.
I can call him Cody Zantini the magician. He just
out of nowhere.
He just sells the fake, rolls out on the run, throws a beautiful ball. Okay, does he have any college looks? Because the way he throws the ball. And what is he, 6'1", 6'2"?
Yeah, he's going to be a solid 6'2".
Man, he can put a ball right on the numbers.
Any college program is going to put a little weight on him, and he'll probably put a little bit of weight on between now and the end of his senior year next year. Remember, he's only a junior. And again, he knows this offense like the back of his hand. And then because he knows the base offense so well, they're able to put more things on his plate because he can handle them. Trevor McGinnis with a point after attempt is good, so it's going to bring it up to 56-14. So I do want to go back to your comment earlier. So I actually talked to the coaches about that. Western Brown's coach immediately went over across the field, and there was actually an apology made. I guess there was some language and some inappropriate conversation.
Fans were a little upset too.
They were at the game, and he said that that's not a representation of his program, whether it was his coaches or the fans. But I asked the coaches specifically about that last play that Carter Van Hoos scored on, and as a former coach myself and being with a couple teams that were very dominant, I understand that at some point you just run the play up the middle. You just keep on running, 32 belly or fullback dive. We called it 30-31. So you just keep running those plays, and you're not trying to score. But if you happen to break one loose, you don't tell your person just to fall down or go out of bounds. So Carson Van Hoos on that particular play at the end of last game, he was running a play right up the middle. I believe it was a 32 belly, and he just happened the seas parted, and he was able to just find an easy opening. So it's one of those things where some of the other people got a little upset at him and started yelling things from the fans. I don't think the intent was necessarily there to rub it in. It was just a simple play call that ended up in a touchdown. So
you can't tell him to take anything off that. So it's all good. It all cleared up at the end, and hopefully everybody's good. Looks like Massey going to kick off from the 45 of the Batavia side.
Yeah, so something must have happened to give him some extra yardage. That's going to be a touchback easily. Trevor McGinnis has a ton of leg on him. He doesn't really need those extra yards to make it to the end zone if he tries and gets a good kick, but in that particular case was easily able to make it about 8 yards deep into the end zone for the touchback, which brings the Clinton-Massie defense back on the field with 2:34 left. 56-14 is your score. So last week we had the chocolate chip debate.
Yes, we got on that.
I have got to send a shout out to Rhonda Noble, which is Devin Noble's mother. Devin Noble was a cornerback and a player for us last year and for many years prior to that. Clinton-Massie with the tackle after about a 14-yard game by the Batavia Bulldogs. And Devin texted me, and I was over at my parents' painting and said, my mom wants in the competition for the best chocolate chip cookies, so she left a bag of chocolate chip cookies on your chair on the front porch, and we got back home, and let me tell you what, they definitely make it into the competition. Man, they were excellent.
What about that?
They were
Matt,
good.
You didn't bring them to my house and set them on my front door.
No, I didn't bring them to church on Sunday either to let you sample them. I don't think they made it that long. So
that's good. That's a good sign.
Batavia back on the line of scrimmage this time with a 2-by-2 look, and they're going to stop play there. The referee's going to stop play because Clinton-Massie called a timeout. I think the defensive coaches maybe saw something they didn't care for. Yep, in fact, he's kind of waving off one of his players to reevaluate the defensive setup there. So Batavia is going to get a couple seconds to talk about it, but I do want to send a shout-out to, again, Rhonda Noble, wonderful parent here in the Clinton-Massie School District that decided to throw her name in the ring, her hat in the ring for best chocolate chip cookies. And anybody in the audience, I want to make it clear that we will take any contributions to the chocolate chip cookie competition. Rick Phillips from Campus Nation is also waving his hand in agreement for that one. So if anybody feels it's on their heart, if something is on their heart to bring us some chocolate chip cookies, or at this point a medium rare steak for EJ, we'll take anything in the press box. As you see, this game is 56-14 with 1:56 left. The ball goes to the running back for
nothing. Look at that defensive line.
Yeah, just ate up by Hellman at this point. So Hellman's your replacement back for Skaggs. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. So 13 is Skaggs, the senior that went out just a few minutes ago after that undercut by Cody Zantini. So 2-by-2 is your set. Pistol formation. Play comes in from the sideline. Max Applegate kind of makes his call. Looks again to the sideline. This time it's going to be, I believe that's at least it looks like the option call. I've seen this call a few times looking on the other side of the field. This time's a motion comes. Option to the left. Yep.
Yeah,
the
way to
pitch
pull that
goes there,
defensive
and this
end,
time
but
it's no gain whatsoever. In
Yeah,
fact, it'll
corners
get
came up and made those plays. Great tackling, open
about
field
a
tackling.
3-yard loss. So even from my perspective, I'm starting to catch on to some of these signals from the Batavia sideline there. So that was the option look to the left with no gain. In fact, a couple of yards lost.
And I like Massey. They're adjusting and they're stopping, whereas last week it seemed like they couldn't. So fourth down here. Looks like they're going to have to stop them again.
Fourth down and about 2 yards. Tried to get them with the hard count, which they were successful early in the game. It hasn't worked since then. Defensive backs are pressing up on the line. Looks to the sideline for the play.
Run a little
Changes
clock
the
out
play.
here, maybe.
Motion to the left of his running back. This time he airs one out that's going to be wide open to Carter Frank. He actually looked like he was passing to Carter
Number
Frank.
two, baby.
He had inside position.
Yes, that was a good play, but yes, Frank just undercut that, and big Carter Frank makes the interception there, and maybe that's a little baby Frank there, little love.
Yeah,
little
I'm
love
sure.
From baby Tank.
Okay, so the laughs just keep on coming, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so if we're going to start shouting out pictures, my loving wife, decided to take my senior year football picture,
put it on there,
and send it to me. Just if we're sending out love, she said this guy is watching the game. So
Massey's going to
take a knee, which is the right move to do. With only 20 seconds left, so 56-14 is your score at halftime. Honestly, there's a lot to talk about, and there's kind of nothing to talk about in the sense that
it's
56-14. So just to give everybody a good laugh, we'll see if we can focus that up. Yes, that's one of your broadcasters bringing to you from campusnation.com, senior year.
I didn't know you were a Houston Oiler.
Big 77 there, so representing the Finneytown Wildcats, F-Town representing. But so let's go back to our conversation earlier. We knew it was going to get out of hand pretty quickly if Batavia didn't answer, but they did answer.
Yeah.
They answered twice. The problem is after those two answers, they've had 3 turnovers. They had a fumble and 2 interceptions. So, that's a little bit of a concern. In fact, right before we start breaking down this first half, we are going to step away for just a moment as a broadcasting team and allow the Clinton-Massie cheerleaders to perform here on camera for you.
Cheerleaders. Nice job, ladies and gents.
All right, so we appreciate the Clinton-Massie cheerleaders giving us a performance there and kind of bringing things to a close of the first half. So again, EJ, just touching base a little bit with what we've seen so far. It is going to be a quick halftime because in the COVID era and with the score at the set that it is right now, we're going to look at a 10-minute half. So just spread a little bit of knowledge when it comes to what are we looking for here in the second half for Batavia, and what do you think Clinton-Massie, what do they still have left to prove at this point with the score being where it is?
Really not a whole lot at this point. I think maybe I'm guessing you score a couple more touchdowns if you're Massey, then pull your starters out, rest them, because you got a quick turnaround.
Yes.
Is it Friday or Saturday?
It's Friday
night.
Yep.
We got New Richmond. So this might bode well in the fact that you can play them another series or two and then kind of let them come back and let your starters get a blow and get rested for that game on Friday. If you're Batavia, I've always thought that I was a big fan of the, Riverboat Gambler.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. But when you put your guys down here in your opponent's red zone and you can't punt it, that's not wisdom, and you're putting your players at a competitive disadvantage.
Yeah, I guess I just don't see with the gap in ability with where it's at right now, and this is no slight on Batavia, especially coming off of 2 weeks of COVID. This is no negative statement towards this, but the coach mentioned that they're building a program. They haven't had a lot of success over the last few years. It's been kind of a tough grind. In fact, you'd go back to a gentleman that was leading their offense there years ago that ended up down at UC on a full ride. That was the last time they had any kind of even 500 or winning record. So having to kind of regroup and kind of gauge on where they're at right now, I don't know that you put your players in that situation. I don't think you keep on putting their backs against the wall on the 15 or 20-yard line going forward on fourth down. You got them one time. Take the one time that you got them, be happy about that, and then move on.
Yeah, and now I think if you're the Massey defense, you use this as experience to guard against that shotgun, the spread. So if you are the defense, I like how, as I told you off the air, I like how they crack down where it looks like, well, they may give up 21, 28, 35 points, but they kind of clamped down and held them to 14. I like that. And I like that adjustment by our defense to make the plays. Our cornerbacks are cutting off their routes, and Frank's playing well at DB tonight.
And the 3 turnovers for Batavia are all caused by Clinton-Massie. So there was a fumble and 2 interceptions, so they weren't just gifts. It was hard play by the defense, like you said, shutting down that scoring drive on each of those 3 next drives there. So I think at this point you're happy with where the defense has kind of slowed things down and made sure that they're taking care of business. The offense is doing pretty much anything they want. It's passing, it's throwing. I would say you'll see the starters maybe in that first series. I think the passing game has been put to bed at this point. Now it's just going to be a couple more runs, wait for one to break. I do know that after talking to Coach McSorley earlier today that they're 3 levels deep, ready to go. So they've repped all 3 levels.
Okay.
The hope and the plan for them was that they were going to come out, they were going to do what they were supposed to do and get some JV time in. And I'm not sure if you're even going to maybe even see a couple freshmen make the field for a varsity Monday night.
Yeah, and why not? And get them some experience. If the game's out of hand, give your starters some good rest. Because New Richmond, one thing we know about New Richmond, they can put points on the board. And so get your starters some rest, even your defensive starters, because it's going to be fireworks coming up this week. And so, yeah, get your young guys in there and give your veterans a break tonight.
Yeah, New Richmond is definitely going to have the firepower. They're probably just a little further along in their program where they're able to score maybe a few more points. They scored 35 against Wilmington. They scored 77 against Western Brown, so 77-61 a few weeks ago. They can score some points. They have a very elusive, it doesn't look like the biggest kid in the world, but an athlete at quarterback that can get out of the pocket and move and make some plays with his feet. So we would take it just a few minutes here as we go 3 minutes left, about 3:45 left in this halftime to give a shout out to Sam's Meats. Football fans, stop by Sam's Meats located here in Wilmington, Ohio at 1209 West Locust Street to support a locally owned and operated business. Sam's Meat has fresh chicken, pork, and beef along with deli cheese and lunch meats. Their meat deals are a great way to buy meat in bulk, helping to save you both time and money. The dining room is open for you to enjoy homemade hot bar items and their made-to-order grill menu. Sam's Meats also offers catering, party trays, and a variety of homemade desserts. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays. Go check them out, and when you go check them out,
get the bacon.
Get the bacon.
And if you still got those garden tomatoes coming in, make you a BLT sandwich.
It's officially sponsored by E.J. Lamb to get the bacon now. So if you've heard it from here, both broadcasters are saying, get you some Sam's Meat bacon.
You know what would be the ultimate is get a BLT named after yourself. That's what I want.
There you
that's
go.
my
You want a
aspirations
sandwich
in
named
life.
after it?
I want
Yes.
the BLT with garden tomatoes.
There you go. And I will say this, you mentioned Sam's Meat, big supporter of the local schools, a great family. I do have a personal connection, and my daughter actually worked for Sam's Meats for years, was treated wonderfully.
And let me say this.
Did a great
sorry to
job.
cut you off
Yeah.
there. They said, just talked with a couple of employees there and thanked them for the sponsorship, but they love to watch Massey football. They're big fans of Massey football, so they're probably watching tonight.
Absolutely.
And just a great part of the community.
Yeah, they treat people nice there at Sam's Meat, so we appreciate their input and their sponsorship. 10 cap Tin Cap is more than just your locally owned hard cider company. Tin Cap offers handcrafted hard ciders along with local craft beers, cocktails, and pizza. Tin Cap leads the area in entertainment, offering large TVs for big games just like the Batavia Bulldogs versus the Clinton-Massie Falcons, the largest outdoor patio with covered air and a large stage for live music. Join your friends at Tin Cap, where there's always serving up smiles by the glassful. See you for live music Saturdays and trivia Thursdays at Tin Cap, located at 59 West Sugar Tree Street in Wilmington, Ohio. Also, a little personal connection to Tin Cap. I've known that gentleman that owns that, Mr. Vaughn, for many, many years. I worked with his, with his ex-wife for many years at East Clinton. He's doing a great job there. Started that business in his home and then moved it out to his location now in downtown Wilmington. So Collett Farms, Pioneer Seed is a family-owned and operated seed dealership offering Pioneer brand products, seed treatments, and trusted agronomic advice for over 45 years. With the use of local data, technology, and digital tools, we help farmers maximize every acre's potential. Count on us to be there throughout the season, working directly with you. Collett Farms, Pioneer Seed are farmers just like you. Again, big supporter of schools. Collett Farms has been for years, and the Collett family has also been a big supporter by being on the school board. Multiple family members have been on the school board, and we have some of their family members are actually teachers in the school district as well. So kind of an all-encompassing, value to the Clinton-Massie School District is the Collett Farms and Collett family.
Wonderful family. Just
Absolutely.
don't get your propane filled there, right?
Yeah, that's the other college.
That's the
right?
other
Yeah.
college. All right.
So, don't try to go to the seed
Show up there
company and ask
tomorrow.
for propane.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, John Roberts Excavating, also another company connected to Clinton-Massie local schools. We have and one of our teachers that's connected to John Roberts Excavating, located in Wilmington, is a family-owned business since 1998. They're specialized in experience in general excavation, sewer, storm, grading, field tile, drainage, and land clearing, ponds, demolition, and paving. EJ, you could say they do it all.
They do it all.
Look us up on Facebook or call 9373-1788. That's 9373-1788 for a free estimate. So we thank each one of our sponsors that are allowing us to provide this broadcast free of charge to all those fans of Batavia Bulldogs or the Western Brown Broncos or the Alter Knights, and then, of course, the Clinton-Massie Falcons. With those sponsorships, we don't have to put the paywall up in order to make revenue. In this very tough economy right now, we appreciate those sponsorships to allow our parents and our guardians to see their kids and their grandkids play. So we appreciate those to allow a free broadcast brought to you by CampusNation.com.
And the fans are grateful. I've talked to a few of them this week, said, hey, we're thankful that, since we can't go, not all high schools can do this, so we are grateful to Campus Nation, all the sponsors that we can, have this broadcast. We have a blast doing it, and it's fun to watch this hometown Massey team roll.
So we're going to bring to your attention just a little bit a couple more shout outs. Okay, so we I know everybody wants to see it because we led them to believe our first picture was Carter Frank taking it to the bank. And that's his cousin. So we do have a picture of Carter Frank in his youth. I think when little Jackson was born there. So Carter Frank representing.
Let me see that, Matt.
Yeah, that's Carter Frank when brother Jackson
All
was
right.
born. So, already looking like a tank there. Looking in his snazzy clothes.
Boy, he's got some news when he. Oh, look at him.
He's got his church best on right
He's
there.
got some news when he gets off the field tonight. Yeah, we
saw
your baby.
Absolutely. How well is he going to react to that? So, hey, you had a great game. You had 2 interceptions. You made a ton of tackles. You had a great reception there in the back of the end zone, receiving yards, touchdown, running in. And, by the way, you look cute when you're a baby. How about that?
What about that? He'll be like,
I don't think he's going to be too appreciative of that. So the Shockleys, again, still getting those shout-outs and understanding that some people like it medium rare ×4, and then some of them like them burnt. So bone-in ribeye, it's got to be right at 132 degrees.
Man, this guy's got it.
Yep. We know.
No meat thermometer.
Yeah. The Raglins are friends of Carter Frank's Nana and watching from, it looks like, Tarleton, Ohio. Tarleton.
All
so
right.
all over the Ohio Valley area. Looks like we did have a little bit of love spread out specifically from the Shealy family. They appreciate the broadcast, and it's great for the fans. They also thank us for bringing back FFA and mention it tonight. Great broadcast. Go Falcons. It looks like Larry Shanholtz was very excited to hear the news and will be able to pass down the Clinton-Massie FFA gavel to the next president. So I'm excited about that. If you know anybody that was connected with FFA years ago here at Clinton-Massie Local Schools, please have them contact myself, the Clinton-Massie superintendent, at matt.baker@cmfalcons.org. Again, matt.baker@cmfalcons.org. EJ, I can't tell you enough, and I'm sorry I'm getting on a tangent on the broadcast about football. I am so excited about FFA. I go into our FFA teacher, our advisor, and our agricultural education teacher and tell her every day, thank you for what you're doing. I'm excited about bringing this program back because FFA doesn't just teach about future farmers of America. It teaches about how to conduct yourself in the business world. It teaches you how to speak correctly.
Yeah, life lessons.
Exactly. It's all about life. It's not just about agriculture, which I'm glad it is that part as well, because we have a very proud tradition of agriculture in our society here in Clinton-Massie and our culture here in Clinton-Massie. And I say it all the time, the reason the buildings are up right now is on the backs of the farmers. The reason we're able to look at this beautiful turf field is because the tax base of the farmers and their CAUV tax, which we appreciate everything they've done to get us to this point in our history. So Clinton-Massie is going to get the sway going from its kickoff team. Set to receive is in the backfield for the Batavia Bulldogs. Looks like, is that number 8 or number 9?
It's like number 8 from here.
Number 8. So Bryce immediately brings him down. That's a great tackle there. That's
good tackle. Open
so
tackle.
Bryce Scaff is able to bring that down at the 20-yard line. So we're going to see right away, it looks like the defensive starters, going to sprinkle in Wildermuth there. Looks like you've got most of the defense starters are out there, though. So Cody Zantini, starting quarterback, also at the free safety position, getting some more reps on defense.
Yeah, and here Batavia's going to roll. They're ready.
Yeah, they're 3-by-1. They've got a running back in the backfield in a pistol formation. Start of the third quarter here, down, unfortunately for them, 56-14, so it is going to be a running clock. Applegate swings the ball out to a receiver to the right.
Heckert again, looks like.
Yeah, Heckert is going to get about 8 yards on that, on the bubble screen. This time the blocking was there.
Yeah, and that's got to be essential for those bubble screens. You guys got to, the players got to make some downfield blocks, and they did there, got almost 9 yards on that first down pickup. Looks like Hellman up the middle.
So he's able to almost get the first down. He'll have probably about half a yard to go on this third down. So getting more pictures sent to us. It says, in the bank, Carter Frank, number 20. And that looks like it's from the palatial state of Lau Lane in Oregonia. Shout out to the Carter Frank family there.
Oregonia, my hometown for 10 years.
Absolutely.
Love Oregonia.
So Clinton-Massie sets up, has their 42 defense set with. The running back is Hellman again. He's swung down by Colton Trampler.
And the Falcons says, we don't like Hellman mayonnaise. And they stop him after a 1 or 2 yard gain.
At least a yard on that play is going to bring 2nd and 8. It looks like almost 2nd and 9 for Max Applegate and the Batavia Bulldogs, setting up in a 2-by-2 offensive formation. Hellman still in the backfield. A quick pass goes to Heckert, and he gets taken out of bounds by Carter Frank.
Kind of seeing the dink and doink down the field, not the big, 40, 50-yard bombs, but they're just trying to make these little bubble screens work, and they're getting a few. They've got about 5, but they still have 5 to go, so we'll see if they can make that work. The blocking's a bit better in this half.
So for many years, I've said that, defenses are willing to give you certain things, and when you're a spread team like this, more than likely the defense is willing to give you a lot of underneath stuff, whether it's 3 to 5 yards, but most time offensive coordinators can't stay patient enough to just dink and doink down the field because they want to show how brilliant they are, that they can make these great plays up, and so Hellman gets that.
Who's big 69 there?
Yeah, we need to get a last name. I know it's Trevor, so we're going to get you a last name on that. Once we can get a roster here up here in just a second.
Okay. Yeah, nice play. Wrapped him up there. Brought him down for. Looks like we got 4th down, about 4 to go for Batavia. Looks like the play call's coming in. Applegate makes the call. Checks to the sideline.
Okay, so we're going to get some names here. So Nashwatt.
Okay.
Trevor Nashwatt is number 69.
Way to go, Trevor.
Yeah, doing a lot of playing here in this second half, and even into the first half he was in there. So
Nice
Max
play.
Applegate makes a couple of people miss,
Nice
and he
play.
breaks into
Oh,
the
he's
open
gonna
field.
juke.
Scaff is going to be able to grab him at the last second with a touchdown-saving tackle
good
because he
tackle
was by
there, Scaff.
himself. Yeah, Scaff was a nice job. That's 23. That's Bryce Scalf. So Scalf is saving a touchdown for us here in the third quarter. Applegate busted out of the second level defense all by himself. This time he goes for the read, and
there he is again, Big
man,
Trevor.
Immediately, Big Stick Trevor shaking his head a little bit like, yeah, you can have one, but
What year is
you don't
Trevor?
get two. I believe he's a junior.
Do we get him back? Man, he's playing some
Is
ball
he a
tonight.
junior? Yeah, I believe he's a junior. So I think we'll get him back. Maybe a sophomore
Nice
even. Yeah, we'll
play.
check him out in just a minute. So he
Sophomore?
is a sophomore?
Wow,
Yeah,
nice
sophomore,
play.
yeah. So we got two sophomores starting. I know that Joey Coker, who looks like he's inactive tonight, he's another sophomore. So you got three interior defensive linemen that are all sophomores. So Max Applegate puts the ball. Intercepted by. Looks like that's number 15. So that's Keegan Lamb.
Nice
so
play.
Keegan Lamb with the interception. That's got to
right.
make the Lamb happy, the Lamb family happy.
Way to go, Lamb family.
Yeah, so Keegan Lamb with the interception. He's actually going to stay in the game. It looks like they're going to let him. Yeah, he's going to get the offense at this point. So Keegan Lamb is the backup quarterback, or at least the quarterback in waiting behind Cody Zantini. So Keegan Lamb gets the play from Donald Brewer.
Cody hurt his leg.
Oh.
Sounds like. Zantini, getting some reports up here, may have had a little injury.
Okay, so we're going to keep Zantini off on the sideline at this point. Yep, he's actually getting stretched out by our
Rest him
trainer,
up.
Matt. The pitch goes to Carson Van
blocking.
Hoos, and a couple nice misses. Oh, and he's off to the races. He's going to pass the 50, the 40, only one man to beat, 30, 20. Looks like he might have a line
Van
on
Hoos
him, but he's going
on the loose.
On the loose, and he scores all the way back from the 20-yard line. So that's going to be an 80-yard run. Great run.
Wow.
That's a fantastic
On the
run.
18, so 82-yard
82-yard
dash.
run. So
and I didn't think he had an angle, but Van Hoos is so fast.
just outran him. He did have
Way
the
to
angle
go.
on him, but just it couldn't catch him. Too
Yeah.
much speed. And we said, probably you're putting the passing game away at this point. It's gone to bed for the night. But if they're going to break one open, then you can't stop them at that
yeah,
point. So
they're still electric.
Van Hoos is able to bring that ball after about 3 or 4 different jump cuts, misses, makes a couple guys miss, and then Cody Zantini
Shreds off the guy, shreds off the defender down there, and,
Yep.
and just got a lot of power. As we've said, he's not just speed, but man, he's got great strength for his size.
and able to bring back to full speed within 3 or 4
Yeah.
strides. So Cody Zantini back on the field to take that extra point and hold it for Trevor McGinnis, which it is good. So with 6:19 left, you have 63-14 is your score. Clinton-Massie will set up for the kickoff here in just a second. So Keegan Lamb engineers a scoring drive.
He hands it off. Way to go. He's got that on his resume now. Goes 82 yards, and nice play there. Handoff from Lamb to Van Hoos, and that'll make you look good.
Yeah, the sophomore Lamb is staying in the game after making that interception. So what a great series for him.
And he can tell his friends, I composed an 82-yard drive.
Yes,
My first
absolutely,
drive.
exactly.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, it was all about
That's
him.
what I'm telling my buddies
Yeah.
as a sophomore.
Without that pitch, I mean, we don't score,
We
so
just
he
have this
definitely is
beautiful pitch right in the numbers.
And
But
then,
it was
and then,
good play.
And then Van Hoos does the rest. So nice job. Swing of the arm starts for the Clinton-Massie kickoff team. Trevor McGinnis drops his hand, kicks it. Beautiful end over end kick right to the 15-yard line, back in Heckert's hands, and he gets brought down by. Is that Maple? Yeah, that's
Yes.
Maple. Maple
Yeah.
flattens him like a pancake.
Yes,
nice
he
job,
does.
Maple.
And he took the one hand, grabs the football,
And just
twists him around,
swung.
just throw him down.
Yep. He said,
Nice
sit down,
play.
son.
Maple's strong.
Yep. He's so smooth like syrup, right? Yeah, I get
Smooth
it.
like
Smooth like
maple
maple syrup. Okay.
That's a good one.
Yep. So Clinton-Massie sets up defense this time. Get a few guys that are sprinkling in here. It looks like Keegan Lamb's going to stay in the game. Green's back in the game, number 24, which is Braden Green. He's been kind of in and out all night at the cornerback position, trying to get some extra reps. Carter Uten's on the far side of the field, along with Rolfe is out there as well. That's Braden Rolfe playing that outside linebacker, additional
Yeah, you got a
defensive
few
back.
new guys sprinkled in here right now.
Collins is up the middle there. Get another defensive lineman. This guy's a senior, John Collins, 56. So they try a bubble screen to number 5 for Batavia, and that's Mentzel.
Big Trevor was coming, though.
Mentzel wasn't able to haul that ball in, so it's going to be 3rd down and 9 from the, looks like Batavia 23. So again, Collins into the game. Looks like Trevor Nasherwatt still in there. Who do we have here on this far end? 59, I believe.
Oh, we got a fumble.
Fresh.
And nice play. Who's big number 38 came in.
38 would be Owen Trick. So that's Owen Trick.
Telling you what, these guys getting a shot tonight, and they're
Yep.
playing some ball.
Yeah.
Man, this defense looks good.
I think you have Frisch in there on one side. John Collins is in there.
So here's maybe what we're saying is the defensive line, you can rotate them, keep them fresh, and your specialty guys that are on the ends can
Let
play.
them have
both.
it. Yeah, a couple.
So that's
couple
a good
breaths.
that's a good combo to have. Get some fresh linemen who are just really, really good players.
They shifted Wildermuth into the middle linebacker position now. And
4th down, folks, and this is about
4th down
20
on
at
the
least, probably.
12-yard line.
There's a punt.
We're gonna
We're gonna
punt
see
it.
one.
We're gonna punt it, and it's over the head of Keegan
gonna see
Lamb.
it. Decent
It is
little punt there.
Yeah, that was a nice little quick hit. Yep. So they down it at the 40-yard line.
We have seen a punt tonight.
We have, and that might be the only one we see all night. But
Smart move
we got
by
to
coach.
Yeah, you can't do that on your 12. As much as the 20's bad, 12's even worse.
Yeah. So looks like Massey's going to get down. Keegan Lamb's going to stay in there.
Keegan Lamb's going to engineer another, hopefully at this point, maybe a 60 or 65-yard scoring drive.
Yeah, engineer one of these long drives he's so famous for.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, to his credit, to come in as a sophomore,
Yep.
stay composed, make some plays, he's doing great.
So 81 brings the play into the game, which is Miley Powell. So Miley Powell brings the play into the game to Keegan Lamb. He's going to take the ball from under center, wishbone backfield. Still have a lot of offensive line starters in there. Keegan Lamb smartly is going to look at the back judge, wait till his hand goes up so we can get under 5 seconds. Snap of the ball goes to Gabe McDowell. McDowell makes one cut, comes back in, but he's going to be stopped after about almost a 5-yard gain.
Nice
so
run,
that's not
nice
bad.
push.
Yep.
Line gave him a good push and got 5 yards out of it.
Into the game also number 4 and number 8. So again, that was Gabe McDowell, and number 8 is Gavin Hunter. So Gavin Hunter's a running back that's going to be into the game here in this some of these second-level guys. Number 9 is bringing the play into, that's Cam Williams. Cam Williams brings the play to Keegan Lamb, taking the snap from under center this time from Garrett Vance. Wishbone backfield, tight end to the right. Little fumble on the snap, but the ball goes to the fullback. And let's see if that's Hunter or 26 is going to be Brody Clutter. So you got little brother Brody, you got big brother Caden.
Yeah, little bro making a play
Keep it in the
there.
family.
Nice. About 1 or 2 left for the first down here, but they're operating efficiently. Now they're going to eat up that clock. When you get these 2, 3, 4-yard gains, you can chew up some clock here and just get that clock moving down, which there is a running clock now.
Yeah. So Brody Clutter with that carry. He was almost able to break it free, but there was a bunch of people in his way. It was kind of cluttered. Yeah, you got one? No? Okay, you're giving me that one, Trevor?
Yeah.
Okay, 4-1. Gotcha. Single receiver to the left. This time the ball goes into McDowell's hands. Makes one guy miss, pushes another one
Big
off
play,
him,
Gabe.
and still gets a
Good
drive
push,
forward
yeah.
and a first down.
He's strong,
so,
you
yeah.
can tell. Push him forward, and he's getting extra yardage, turning those legs. Nice play.
Good basketball player as well. He's going to be a good athlete for multiple years in multiple sports for Clinton-Massie.
Now we're just still chewing it up. Got a minute 10 left in this third quarter here. And that's what you want to do. Just, operate this drive, engineer this drive, and take some time off the clock and punch it in when you get in the red zone.
So Keegan Lamb setting up his offense, this time double slot. Fullback behind him is Clutter. He gets the handoff big push inside by, I believe that's Lane Scholes, if I'm correct there. Just a huge push. Yeah, 52 is Schultz. He just absolutely plowed his guy and pancaked him back.
You can't say enough about the line play tonight, and every week, really. When you can run that good and defend that well, you've got some good offense and defensive line. So hats off to the offensive line for just getting a great push every play. It looks like that might wrap up this third quarter.
And if you're Batavia, unfortunately the spirit's a little broken at this point. It's 63-14. It's a running clock. It's the end of the third quarter, and I'm sure this is what the coach was alluding to, that you got to play every play still. It doesn't matter if it's the second team, if it's the first team, no matter who you're going to, he wants them playing every single play, not leaving anything on the field. And you still got a quarter to take away something from this game. So we had mentioned this before about Western Brown, or maybe even going to the week before against Goshen. I mean, you want to end on a good note because you have a week of practice still ahead of you. You've got a game on Friday. You don't want to tank so bad in this last quarter of play, even with a running clock, to say, hey, we don't have anything to build on for the next week or so.
And I think you knew when you're coming into the Hornets' nest here at Massey, they're a juggernaut in this division. They have been for 20 years. And so, I don't know what expectation were, but they got a quick turnaround. They need to do something they can build on for Friday's game for them, and they can come out of the season with a winning record if they can turn it around. But you want some momentum and do something positive your team can end on here in this game.
But you can see a little bit of the body language from Batavia, I think, right now. They're just trying to find that one person that's maybe willing to step up. Good to see back in the game for Batavia, number 40. That's their quarterback on defense that went out late into the second quarter. That's Stewart, so glad to see him back and healthy. Haven't seen Skaggs back. I want to make sure that young man's okay. Sure hope so, number 13 for Batavia. The pitch this time goes out wide to number 8.
Nice
so
play.
That should be Gavin Hunter. Yep, Gavin Hunter gets the play on the left-hand side, and a big gain there, big run there.
Yeah, nice cut there at the end to cut it upfield and get about 10, 15 more yards. Yeah, nice play.
So one of our last shout-outs here, Massey's biggest fans from San Diego are watching. Matt and Sheila sure appreciate being able to watch from across the country. Hello to Coach Dan and Chris McSurley.
All right.
Let's go Owen Trick, sending some love again from Arizona.
So from the East Coast to the West Coast.
We are
from
representing.
Boston to San Diego.
That's right. We're absolutely from one tip to the other. Clinton-Massie brings the line back in a double slot. Fullback behind him, single receiver to the right. Keegan Lamb waits to see that back judge's hand go up so he can eat up as much clock as possible before he snaps this play with 10:48 left. 63-14 is your score in the fourth quarter with a running clock. Hand goes up. Keegan goes under. Snap. Handoff. That's Clutter with a run up the middle. This time you do have a different line, and now you got Brandon Updikes in there. Looks like number 70 for Clinton-Massie, which is Isaiah McCoy, is in there as well.
And they're fresh. They got some fresh legs, so they're getting a little push still, and this line's doing well against this Batavia defense.
Looks like Gavin Avey maybe in there, number 53 as well. So 59, I believe that's Frisch, Adam Frisch, and then maybe is that 77? Colin Swope, I believe, is your right guard on that one. I got to see this JV team play, this is mostly the JV line and running backs at this point. This past Saturday, absolutely put a crushing, nice play. That's Gabe McDowell.
Yep, big play, Gabe.
Nice move, little slot, little shiftiness to the right, brings it back into the left. He's able to score from about 14 yards out, which that's going to make it 69-14 with a point after him to come, 9:38 left. Which luckily will stop the clock for this untimed extra point. Trevor McGinnis is going to tee the ball up, or set the tee, and then Gabe McDowell wants to give the ball to somebody, not sure who he should give it to. He's trying to say, hey, who wants the ball? We got to kick it at some point. There we go. Now we're getting it. Garrett Vance collects the ball from Gabe McDowell.
Nice play, Gabe.
Yeah, that was a nice run.
Maybe you take it, you sign it, and you just put it away.
Looks smooth. Keegan Lamb's going to be your holder this time. Trevor McGinnis, it's up. Nice hold.
How about McGinnis?
It's good.
Good kicker, isn't he?
I tell you, I don't see how his leg doesn't get tired through a game. He's kicking off so many times and extra points, and he doesn't need to kick field goals because we're scoring every time. So he's going to get set up here for another kickoff. I'd say
All
at
these
this
youngsters,
point,
17, they're
yeah,
fresh.
they're
Those
good.
legs
They're
are
ready
fresh.
to go.
He's a soccer player, is that
He
good?
is. He is a very good one. So he's going to be able to I'm sure, kick as many more that we can score if we need to. So going to set up the kickoff team. Still the original. Yep, looks like the original kickoff team here. So get a couple of guys in there that are switching out now. Owen Trick's going to slide in for Dallin Maple. And Batavia sets up with their return 5x2x2x2. This way starts. Trevor McGinnis looks to his line, looks to the sideline, drops his hand, drops his head, drops the leg for the kick. This one was going to go out of bounds.
Well, we bragged on him.
Yeah, well, you just.
That's okay. It happens.
Maybe it was a little tired.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, we're just going to shank this to the left and so I can get over to the sideline and get a drink of water.
Yeah.
So, but if I know him, I can see him already. He's shaking
Yeah,
his head.
like,
He's going to be frustrated himself. He is very, very hard on himself, a perfectionist mentality, so I know he wants better for himself than that. So he'll clean that up and get these guys back ready to go.
Clock is running.
Yep, on defense, it looks like Shane Baker's into the game, senior. He's going to be beside Nate Wildermuth in the linebacker positions, outside wide. Looks like Gray Navy's going to be your left defensive end.
Grand Navy making a comeback.
Trevor still in there. Looks like Owen Trick's your other defensive end. Collins is in there. A quick bubble screen attempt.
A little dangerous when you throw that high and you leave them open.
Yeah,
for that
ribs
hit.
are open, but Gabe McDowell makes a good tackle, brings that person down for Batavia.
Big play Gabe's still making it.
Yeah,
you know,
defensive
defense
offense,
and
doesn't matter.
offense. Nice. Good intensity. These guys are happy to be on the field playing some varsity action, and they're making the most of it.
Defensive back closest to us is going to be Alex Jones. He slides back, running play for Batavia. Gets about 3 yards net there, so it's going to be 3rd and 5. Again, with the running clock, 7:37 now left in the fourth quarter. We'll get this game over here pretty quick. So, let's talk a little bit about what we've seen tonight and what could be seen on Friday. So it's going to be against the New Richmond Lions down at New Richmond. What do you think as far as their firepower is probably a little bit further along than where Batavia is right now?
Yeah.
They've had more experience, a little more success in the past. So, what are you expecting to see out of New Richmond come Friday?
Yeah, well, I think you're going to see that as they kind of gang tackle the running back here. I think you're going to see a lot of points. But I'm hoping tonight's a good adjustment where they can get used to seeing these wide receiver spreads and the shotgun offense, which they've seen the last 2 weeks. So hopefully with these two kind of, quick turnaround, they see this. But New Richmond, they're scoring points. They beat Western Brown, I think, and they scored 77 points.
Yeah.
So they can score some points, too. We might have a shootout, although you probably wouldn't say that about Massey normally, but you may have a shootout
Score fest.
if they get hot.
Score fest, yeah.
Yes.
So I agree. I'm a little concerned about what they're bringing to the table. This time a punt, another quick kick, and a nice
good
one.
Punt. Nice roll.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know why they didn't have him do that from the get-go. They gave him 2 or 3 short fields. It just seemed silly. But, okay, so we're at this point in the game. Ball's going to rest about the 21-yard line. So, yeah, New Richmond's much further along in their offensive setup, so they're able to bring a little more to the table than what Batavia is. So answer me this, EJ. At some point in this game, Batavia kind of turned off the offense.
Yeah.
Clinton-Massie turned up the defense. Which one, held more responsibility for this final score? Is it that Batavia's offense kind of went to sleep, or Massey's defense stepped up and shut them down?
I like Massey's D. I think they've adjusted well tonight. But you can just tell when they came out in the second half, their demeanor was just changed. It was completely, the shoulders were slumping and the demeanor had changed a lot.
Yeah, it looked like Batavia had kind of got the wind knocked out of their sails right before halftime. And that's, I believe that's Gavin Hunter with the play there. Positive yards there on the first. In fact, it's going to be a first down run on first down.
Yeah.
So I think Batavia's kind of resigned themselves to the fact that they want this game over with about 5 minutes and 13 seconds left. Bringing into the play is Toby Hayes. Toby Hayes bringing the offensive play into Keegan Lamb. He's going to get his offense set up here with Owen Trick as your tight end to the left-hand side.
And look how tight that
Wishbone
formation is to
backfield.
the quarterback when you run that wishbone. They're
very.
just a yard or two away.
Yeah, Coach McSorley makes a point that, ball's on the ground, picked up by
Just get down. There you go.
Yeah, Hunter, just get down on the ground. So a little mis-exchange there between Keegan Lamb and Hunter, but Hunter's able to jump back on it and recover that ball for another to live another day here going into the next down. But yeah, McSorley makes a big point about the proximity of the fullback, especially in his wishbone offense. He sees other people run the wishbone and kind of, laments a little bit that, hey, this guy's too far back or their motion's not right. But yeah, they want him nice and tight and they want him close together in that wishbone.
He's a legend.
He is, so he's doing it right for many, many years. Keegan Lamb pulls
nice speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh.
Keegan Lamb goes for the option, but pulls it from the fullback and goes ahead and takes it around the corner himself. And like we said, we even mentioned this last week, his speed is a little surprising.
Yeah.
When I saw him make a couple runs on Saturday as well, he can separate from people. I mean, he's got a little bit of speed.
And that's good. That bodes well for this offense that, runs has that fake that you occasionally pull down and run. So that he's smart, too. He's making some great plays here, good read there to pull it in and get the first down.
He's more of your traditional triple option look, and there's a great read to Brody Clutter is able to break it loose. He's going to get a guy, bring him down at the 28-yard line. So big reaction from the fans there with Brody breaking it one open and gaining about 25 yards or so on that play.
And I can't say he cut through the clutter because it's already been taken.
Yeah, we used that one already. So yeah, but feel free to borrow it if you need to. We're a giving broadcast team here, back and forth between each other.
About 3 minutes left here, a little over 3, and. Should be the final drive, you'd think, for Clinton-Massie. Maybe they can
unless they score
in.
quick. So we do want to thank the production staff at campusnation.com. So we have our fill-in cameraman this time.
Wonderful
job.
We have
Trevor Smith. Appreciate you, Trevor. We have Chad Muterspall on our end zone camera. And then, Rick, we have another gentleman. Who is it? Dean Thompson is also another end zone camera. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've benefited from an extra camera in this Monday Night Football extravaganza.
Well, we got to compete with the Saints and the Raiders.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think we've done a great job comting with them.
Well, the production clearly is as good as it would be on NFL football. So
maybe a little bit better broadcaster.
Yeah. Yes, I was. Yeah, no pats on our backs though. So appreciate our friends there at Sam's Meats again. We want to make sure we send a shout out to them before our conclusion of this particular event. Tin Cap as well. We appreciate Tin Cap for sponsoring us. Collett Farms and John Roberts Excavating. So each one of those we appreciate and sending a shout out. Much love to them to give us the opportunity to send this across the airways free of charge to all those that are watching on campusnation.com. The fumble of
exchange. Nice pick
the exchange, but Keegan Lamb is able to get the ball back quickly and still make a very productive run. In fact, a first down run.
Yeah,
he brings
good play.
The ball
good play. Way to make
across,
something out of nothing.
Across the 15-yard line to the 13-yard line. Coming back into the game is number 81. He's able to. That's Miley Powell. Miley Powell is bringing the play back into the offense to Keegan Lamb and the rest of the offensive staff.
Yeah, they're just taking their time.
Yeah, they're going to take as much time as they possibly can. In fact, they might get just a couple plays in here before the end of this game.
Is this the victory formation, looks like?
Yeah, it looks like it. Both of their running backs are up against the line, and then you still got clutter in the backfield in case of a bad snap or a fumbled snap. So I believe we're going to go into the victory formation here. The hand's going to go up from the back judge, giving us about 5 seconds left before this play is over with 53 seconds left in the game. Hand goes up. Keegan Lamb goes under center. The ball is snapped, and Hill's going to go on a knee. So that knee is going to conclude this game. So, you take a few things away from this. I think, unfortunately, it wasn't much of a hard-fought battle in the second half. Everybody kind of understood where we were at as a program. They were at as a program. So, kind of waves, hand claps across, unfortunately, due to the COVID, not able to not able to do what we've done in the past and everybody shake hands and kind of has some time, because a lot of these players know each other from other sports, or they played against each other when they were young, middle school, and maybe even like AAU ball. So you hate to see the fact that you can't take some time and just say hi to everybody, but that's where we're at right now in our society because of COVID. So we appreciate the production staff here at campusnation.com. Appreciate our cameraman. EJ, take us out for tonight. What do you think you're going to see when it's New Richmond Lions versus Clinton-Massie Falcons this Friday at New Richmond? What's the expectations?
Well, we talked about the offense of New Richmond and Massey, both explosive. I'm hoping we see a great D out of Massey, and I like what we did tonight. We completely adjusted after it looked like they may have dropped 30, 40 on us. The defense adjusted, and when the way that defensive line played tonight, if they play that well against New Richmond, I think we can take care of business.
So the region is set. The region came out this weekend, and you're seeing teams like Wyoming, Indian Hill, Valley View, Clinton-Massie obviously is going to be up there. What do you think the potential for this team is when it comes to coming out of this region?
You've got to think, the first couple of games they're going to have a high seed, but you've got to think that there's the potential to really make some noise. Now, the backfield's so explosive. Again, our only question is a team that comes in here with a really, really good spread offense, can they pick us apart and can we match them? I think we can. I think our offense is that good. I love what we saw tonight. We came out with 3 wide receiver set, and Cody can just put the ball on the money. I like what we are doing. So I think we can make some noise. I think we can really get I don't want to jinx them, so I'm just going to be quiet. But I think they can make a good run this year.
Right.
A really good run.
Let's go over some stats here. So total offense for Clinton-Massie, 602 yards with 42 plays. That means they netted 14.3 per play. 264 yards total on 57 plays for Batavia at 4.6. Passing yards was 66 to 178. Batavia did break 178 yards. 4 for 4 for Clinton-Massie, where they were 14 for 27. A lot of pressure was put on that Batavia quarterback, even though he was able to clear a few of them out with interceptions. Obviously, that hurt Batavia.
Sure did. This one's a shocker. The time of possession. Wow.
Time of possession was a lot closer than you think.
That.
It actually went towards Batavia by 2 minutes, but because I think the Clinton-Massie was scoring so easily.
Quick, yes.
Yeah, defensive had a couple sacks, a couple turnovers, like we said. They lost a fumble, and there were 3 interceptions thrown as well. 5 penalties for Clinton-Massie for 40 yards, 2 for 10 yards for Batavia. Receiving those 66 yards went to 4 completions, so that averaged about 16.5 per. And then the 14 completions for Batavia is about 12.7 per. But it just comes down to running the ball for Clinton-Massie. 536 yards rushing on 38 attempts.
And turnovers,
means 14 yards per play when you rush the ball.
Beast mode.
That's just crazy beast mode. 86 yards of rushing on 30 attempts for 2.9 per. Thank you, Matt Hale. Matt Hale, the proud father of Charlie Hale.
It's a good one.
Was our statistician tonight, and we appreciate that information. So clearly everything moving towards Clinton-Massie in a positive way for this particular game. And over the last 4 weeks, I guess where you're saying is that you're concerned about New Richmond having the ability to throw the ball. What's that going to do against the rest of the teams that they're facing here in the region? So teams like Wyoming that are going to spread it out 4 wide, teams like Indian Hill that are going to spread it out 4 wide. When you get a few more athletes on the side, and Batavia is not to that point yet, they're still building that program, but when you have long-established programs like some of those Southwest Ohio teams, Wyoming, Indian Hill, Valley View, that have done this for a long, long time, what's your concerns about Clinton-Massie, and at that point, those two-way players, or is it scheme? Is it the amount of yards they're giving up?
Yeah, and you got to think the two-way players. You look at Van Hoos, Frank, even Zantini out there.
Yeah,
they could get a bit winded. Although those fellas are in great shape, but you do kind of worry about injury every now and then. Playing that and playing deep into a fourth quarter game and making a deep playoff run, I think we're okay. I think we can score with anybody. I think we can put points on. And hopefully the defense adjusts. Like it did tonight, it adjusted well. So hopefully we learn. Our defensive line puts pressure on them like they did tonight. You can't say enough about how great that D-line played, and offensive line for that matter. But I think we can make a deep run this year.
I think the difference between last week's game and this week's game, besides the skill set of the quarterback for Western Brown, is that there wasn't a lot of pressure being put on that quarterback last week, where this week there was a ton of pressure.
Absolutely.
That's a big difference there. So D-line definitely stepped up to give more pressure against the Batavia offensive line.
And that'll rattle a quarterback when he gets hit a few times.
Yep,
that'll rattle a quarterback.
So we appreciate, again, our friends at Campus Nation, campusnation.com. Join us for the broadcast from this particular broadcast from Clinton-Massie High School at Frank Irelan Field. Coming up, I know in 2 weeks, you'll see a broadcast again from Frank Irelan Field against Wilmington. At that particular game, we're going to have homecoming festivities, and it's going to be against Batavia. And New Richmond will also be broadcast. A couple different broadcasters coming live to you from New Richmond Field. But hopefully, EJ, you and I can join them again the following Friday, Wilmington versus Clinton-Massie here at Frank Irelan Field. It's going to be a great game. So we appreciate our friends at campusnation.com for bringing this opportunity to all of our listeners and watchers. Have a great rest of the evening. Have a great week. And as always, people, stay safe out there.